Stinishedit is recorded on the unceded lands of the Wurundjeri Woiwurrung people. We pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging, and to any First Nations people listening.
We acknowledge the long history of storytelling undertaken on this land.
Welcome back to Stinishedit, the podcast where we review the things we've started, finished, and what we're looking forward to. My name is Reuben, and I have two bathroom pet peeves.
Oh, my name is Jett, and I can't get my headphones on right. They're a bit finicky today. But that issue has fallen by the wayside because now I need to know what your bathroom pet peeves are.
Yeah, okay, sure. So
Are they to do with me? Because we live together. Are you like,
famously.
look,
No, not at all.
I don't like the way that you take the shampoo and just smear it on the toilet seat.
Yeah.
Not a fan. I think it's great because it's a nice moisturizer.
That's right.
And you don't have to moisturize your butt ever because every time you sit on the toilet seat, it gets... Well, I mean, technically shampoo is like it's more of a cleaner, like a soap than a moisturizer. But I have a layer of shampoo.
Yeah, I kind of feel like you're trying to tell me something when
and
you
then
do
a layer of conditioner on the top of the toilet seat. What's the bit that goes over the toilet seat?
Yeah, the lid.
The lid.
Yeah.
I put that on. So then you sit on that afterwards. So it shampoos and conditions your bum. Well, you've got little fine hairs on your bum. So like...
Yeah. No, neither of these are my issue.
Okay.
This is great. I'm a huge fan of this
cool.
operation.
Great.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. What are your issues?
So my first issue is low taps that you can't refill a water bottle in, right? 50% of the time that I'm in a bathroom, I'm just there to refill my water bottle. I don't want to touch or see anything else. In fact, I never want to touch or see anything else, but sometimes I have to. So low taps, huge issue. Okay?
Yeah.
Second issue, no paper, no towels to dry with.
Okay. No.
I don't care how expensive your air dryer is. I don't care how much money you spend on that thing. I don't care what revolutionary new vacuum technology there is. My hands are going to be slightly damp when I'm finished with that thing. So give me the choice or just give me the towels. I don't care. But if you deny me towels, I'm going to be mad.
I've just thought of something. Now, famously, hand dryers, they don't suck air. So I don't know where this vacuum technology came from, but I like the idea because one of the issues that people have with hand dryers is that it blows just bathroom air. So all the terrible particles in a bathroom, they're just getting blown not only on your hands but also everywhere else.
Everywhere.
However, what if you had a hand dryer that was like a vacuum?
Yeah, okay, a reverse hand dryer.
I'm thinking you still need the heat, so maybe have like an induction heater at the base of it. I'm thinking one of those Dyson's ones where you plunge your hand.
Yeah.
Which also really awkward to do because you have to do it at such an angle.
It's not quite right.
Yeah.
It always sounds like a great idea. And I prefer it to the old style upside down ones that don't actually do anything. Like at least there's pressure in those ones.
Yeah. But
the angles are wrong.
What if you got the heat and then you got to just like suck the water off of you?
I enjoy this because it turns it into an extra bonus game where if you go too vigorously with your hands, you just burn all of your fingertips.
Yeah.
You just scorch
and if you get too close to the sides, your hands just get sucked to the sides.
Like when you put your hand on the end of the vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
It's like, I can pull it off, but it's slightly more uncomfortable than I expected.
Now, on the tap side of things, a lot of people would say, what the fuck are you doing refilling your bottle in a bathroom? Because once again, you have all those dirty particles. Who knows if people touch the ends of the taps?
Again, I'm not happy about it. It's just a thing that happens.
It's just... Okay.
I have a follow-up third complaint, a synthesis of the previous two, if you will, which is the Traralgon McDonald's.
Okay. All right.
Because they have short taps and only a bad blow dryer.
Right. Well, I feel like
not good.
McDonald's isn't the place you want to go for a nice bathroom experience.
No, but it's often the place you have to go, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, is the Traralgon McDonald's, is it like is it part of a service station?
No.
No, it's just on its own.
It's part of a parking lot.
The parking lot isn't part of the McDonald's at this point.
No, the McDonald's is subsumed by the parking lot.
The parking lot was there first.
Oh, it feels that way. It will be there forever also.
We know how, I feel like this is just Americanism coming into Australia. Because America, famously, they have a massive car culture. And famously, because of that, they have an insane amount of car parks. Like a ridiculous amount.
Like it's actually written into most of their state laws to have way too many.
Yeah,
because someone did some bad maths.
Because for a sporting arena, you have like a couple of events a week, a couple of sporting games a week, but you have hundreds, maybe thousands of car spots for those like very select times. Because when you need it, those places get packed out. When you don't, now you have a bunch of dead concrete
All
space.
dead space.
Yeah, people were talking about this when Taylor Swift was here, because I don't know, it got shared on TikTok. There was satellite imagery of the MCG. And people in America were freaking out. They're like, how the fuck do you, this was Taylor Swift's like most amount of people in one stadium. Yeah. How do you do that when the area around it is like parkland? No, we just have public transport. We have tram and trains. Yeah. So I think what they've done here with the McDonald's is they built the car park because they legally have to.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we also apparently need a use for this, so let's just put a McDonald's in the middle of it.
But we're out of money, so we're going to build a bad McDonald's.
I've never been in a McDonald's with a full car park.
Yeah, great point. Great point.
What do we do about that?
Build more cars.
I've been getting a lot of ads for McDonald's recently.
Really?
Yeah. Just on TikTok. I don't know. It's one of their burgers that they're doing. I don't know. I'm getting ads for it. It's weird.
Sounds memorable.
Yeah. Well, it's like, here's the burger. It has like lettuce and you know how they have that rhyme or whatever. I'm not going to try and do it because I don't want it stuck in my head. They have a rhyme.
They have a rhyme?
Yes.
McDonald's have a rhyme?
Speaking of rhymes and beef.
Nice.
Thank you.
Hey, here we go.
Yeah. You need a recap on the rat beef that's going on.
I need a thorough rundown. This came up in my real life the other day. And I was like, haha, I'm actually informed enough to contribute to this discussion.
Nah, you
I
weren't.
quickly realized I was way out of date. I had nothing to say, and I was going to embarrass myself. So I like reverse parked out of there. No, that's the wrong thing. I ran away, is what I'm trying to say.
You tried to reverse park. There was a car behind you.
I hit
tried
the car.
To
I put myself back into drive, ran forward, hit another car because by that point I was distracted. Hit the car that was actually on the road, reversed again. Almost hit another car. They beeped me. I went forward again, and then I just ran out of there.
Yeah, you went over.
I got out of the car. Yeah, yes.
You're at a McDonald's parking lot. You're actually
55
trying to
chicken nuggets. 100.
55 burgers, 55 fries, and you got stuck. And you're like, oh wait, I can just run.
I can just run, and I got out of the car and I ran away.
You ran away. So
and I ran straight here for my rat beef update.
I don't want you running away anymore. No. So in our last episode, what had happened is Drake had released the track. You're making a lot of weird faces.
Yeah, I'm making faces.
Which is really, really throwing me off. He had released the track Taylor Made Freestyle.
Yep.
Now, I didn't mention this last episode, but the reason for that name is because Drake was basically dissing Kendrick for not making a response due to Taylor Swift's album release and saying, just like before how Kendrick had played the game, had made verses for Taylor Swift and other, more poppy artists because the industry told him to get famous. He's still doing that. He's given way to Taylor on a release weekend. So,
to be fair, we all needed an entire weekend to listen to that album because it's like 3 hours long.
Yeah, no, absolutely true. But also, if you're in the middle of a rat beef,
you don't stop for nothing.
No, don't stop for anyone. So
keep mincing that beef.
That's where we were at. Now, before the episode, I got you to sort of get refreshed and listen to the disses so far. But since then, we've had a plethora. I will tell you, we have had
a veritable cornucopia, if you will.
Yes, sure. Why not that thing? A veritable cornucopia of freestyles.
I can make you say anything.
Everyone in the Hunger Games is just running to the center of a bunch of mixtapes,
just yelling at each other.
Yeah. You only get one, but you have to like really hit someone hard with some grueling remark about their family. I want to see that as a Hunger Games. Just a bunch of
I'll
people
watch anything Hunger Games at this point.
Yeah. So what we're going to do, what I thought would be fun, since we've had a few tracks since, is we're going to pause the recording, listen to the song, and then we can remark on it, and then do that for the songs that have come out.
Okay.
Right?
Great.
So far, I want to say just a quick timeline. First person shooter, Drake J. Cole came out October 6th. Last year.
Yeah. Old news.
Like that. Future Metro Boomin, Kendrick Lamar, March 22nd this year, so more recent. That was the one where Kendrick was like, fuck Big Three, it's just Big Me.
Big Me!
On the 5th of April, J. Cole came out saying, hey, fuck you, I'm still part of the big three, on a mixtape called Might Delete Later. That was 7 days later, he deleted it and said, I've been losing sleep over this and it didn't sit right with me, so I'm out of this beef. My bad.
To be fair, it does what it says on the tin. Might delete later.
And he did. Now we had Rick Ross chirping in on April 15th with Champagne Moments. That's not a joke about champagne
problems, right?
No. Not a Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
No, Champagne Puppy.
A Taylor Rift, if you will.
A Taylor Rift?
Isn't this all a big Taylor Rift when you think about it?
Yeah, it's that and a cornucopia for some reason.
Yeah. Veritably.
And then we had Push Ups, April 19th, by Drake. And then Taylor Made Freestyle on also April 19th. But now Push Ups was leaked early on April 13th. Taylor Made Freestyle has been removed since on April 26th. But on April 20th, we got a response from Kendrick Lamar. Right when we uploaded the last episode, called Euphoria. So let's have a listen to that.
Okay.
And then talk about our thoughts.
Back soon, folks.
Say I'm the biggest hater. I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress. I hate the way that you sneak this. If I
Oof.
Ooh.
Oh. What'd you think of that?
Heavy.
It's heavy.
It's great. I like the bit where it's like, I don't like the way you look, and I don't like the way you walk, and I don't like the way you dress. A line's so good he put it in twice.
Right.
It's great.
I think with Kendrick, you're expecting, as Drake says in Push Ups, like those triple entendres. I'm expecting stuff. You're really intricate with your metaphors and all that. And Kendrick's like, hey, fuck you.
Yep.
I hate everything. I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. He does have some, some metaphors and some, like, I don't know, all of that. But it's really aggressive.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
what? Like
A
it's
step up.
It's how long was that song? Was
I guess Push Ups was pretty mean, but it was still like professional or something. This is like, I'll make someone in your family bleed. You don't even write your own songs. Fucked. Okay, I have multiple questions.
Yeah.
The cease and desist on Like That?
Yeah.
Did Drake try and get Kendrick for copyright something?
Apparently, according to this song, and this is we're going to get some hearsay. All of this may or may not be hearsay. But yeah, because of Like That, Drake apparently tried to get that song pulled. We'll see. It's a diss on him. Maybe he was like, hey, can we get this down? I don't know. We have, oh God, it is really aggressive. I think it starts out really chill. Like it's a classic smooth Kendrick kind of R&B beat, before it drops into the insanity. Yeah. Now I will say the cover art is a definition for euphoria, which is a feeling of well-being or elation. Apparently, it is the change in mood, the feeling of euphoria, and reduced anxiety that promotes people to start using this dangerous drug, which is Rita L. I don't know, it's a definition by someone. And then there's another definition. They had almost a week to recover from the euphoria of Tuesday's series-winning victory, Clifton Brown. I think those are use cases. I don't know. It's something. It's something. I don't know exactly what he's saying with that. I
liked the bit where he just listed what being a good dad is. He was like, you wouldn't get it. Integrity, you wouldn't get it. Discipline, you wouldn't get it. Spending time with him, you wouldn't, and just did like several of those.
Yeah.
That was my favorite bit.
There's a lot of family stuff. He talks about like Drake's dad, having some hood stuff, like having not a great past, and like Drake takes that on and it's like, I'm also a bit of a gangster because of that. But he's like, you must have forgot shit dementia must run in the family, but let it get shaken. Oh, Park his son. And so now Kendrick's like jabbing at his family a bit, and it's like,
What's the bit that he said about, once again, the 8-miling himself? He was saying like, you haven't done this, I've done all that. And he was talking about like a court case and like a 500,000 something.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what that is? Am I making that up?
No, you're not. I don't know exactly what it is, though. I don't know exactly what it's referring to, unfortunately. But yeah, he's like, I failed at those things. Yeah. Don't know exactly what he means by that. With the I hate this and this and this, one of the things is like, I hate the way you say the N-word. Yeah. Stop saying it. Yeah. The song ends with that. Yeah. So that's just interesting. Yeah. I think that's less of a, because people have been pointing out, oh, well, Drake's mixed. And some people like Rick Ross are like, oh, well, you're too white for me, whatever. I think in this situation, Kendrick's more like, I just don't like you. I don't want you to be able to say that because...
I want you to be part of my community.
Yeah, exactly.
Any of them.
Yeah, any of them. So that's Euphoria. It's they have the one line that I want to talk about is ain't 20v1, it's a 1v20. If I gotta smack people that write with you. Because Drake, as we know from song credits, has people are calling them ghostwriters, just other people helping collaborators. But because everyone's been like, this is a 20v1, we have all these rappers going against Drake. Drake's like people are literally comparing Drake to Thanos versus the Avengers. So that was a really fun spin that Kendrick did on that sort of talking point. Yeah. So that was Euphoria. Once again, April 20th. Now, we didn't get a response from Drake for a bit. We're like, what's going on? And then we got another track by Kendrick called 616 in LA, which is a spin on some of the ways that Drake titles songs. On May 3rd, now I will specify, this one came out at 9 a.m. PST. It'll become relevant why that's relevant soon. Yep. But why don't we have a listen to that one?
Great.
And we'll come back.
Great.
Are you finally ready to play? Have you ever, let's see, have you ever thought that OVO is working for me? Fake bully.
616 in LA.
Okay.
Kendrick's come back for round 2 and he hasn't even let the other person hear.
He's like, wait, I got more to say.
Yeah. This one, I want to just put, I think maybe this is my favorite beat so far, I think.
Okay. I feel the opposite.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I think in the first half of the song, like especially the first verse, maybe it's because I'm only listening to it for the first time. It's all like the backing vocal is like distracting. I'm like, I just want to hear the words actually, please.
Yeah, okay.
But that might change over time.
Yeah. I think because I've heard these enough times, I'm like, I'm appreciating the music more than...
Right.
But it is, I don't know. For a diss, you want it to be hard. You want it, like everything to be hard.
Sure, but it can still be a good song.
Yeah. This one's interesting. It's shorter than the last one. What do you think of the line, have you ever thought that OVO was working for me?
Now, I didn't have the context for this one until you told me a tiny bit about it beforehand.
OVO is basically Drake's crew. Yeah. It's a twist. I get
It's a twist, and then he gets really specific. He's like, you got 100 people on staff, 20 of them want you as a casualty, one of them's this, 2 of them are this. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah.
He's really leading into, hey, maybe don't fuck around because, I have people on the inside.
Yeah.
Like there are moles, it seems.
He's putting together a convincing narrative that may or may not have any truth to it. That's like, you've been looked at as the king for a while, but maybe no one actually likes you.
Yeah. And I think with Drake, because he's a bit of like a goofy, cringy rap artist. Like he does rap, he does R&B, some pop, some would say as well, but he isn't extremely serious, and there is bits where it's like there's cringy bits about him. And I think he plays into that and he knows that. So I feel like when Kendrick's saying, hey, there's some people who actually aren't joking with you. They're aren't laughing with you. There's some people laughing at you.
Yeah, okay.
And how do you know the difference?
Oh.
Yeah. I think this, adds some, it's not done, It's not. Yeah. This isn't the end of it.
That is not the killing blow.
Yeah, and I think when you drop 2 songs, even if they're a few days apart, it's like, all right, you're on a run.
Yeah.
You're starting up a run. Now, I will show you the album art here, the cover photo. Now, what is this?
It's like a black glove on a red and white background. It's like not a skiing glove, not a motorcycle glove. What?
It's some sort of glove, right?
Yeah.
But it looks like a zoomed in photo, yeah?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's a bit confusing, like, what is this? Might come back later.
Okay.
Who's to say? So, whoop. We got 616 in LA, 9 a.m., May 3rd, at 8 p.m.
Okay.
Also May 3rd, Drake drops Family Matters. Now let's give that a listen.
Okay.
Did you think that you bishop and juice when you put your hands on your girl? Is it self-defense because she bigger than you? Your back is up against the curb.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. We're pulling out real stuff now.
I don't know if it's fun anymore.
Yeah, right? So at this point, with all these songs coming out in succession, I'm on YouTube like every 30 minutes. Work, getting ready for bed, no matter what, just to check if something's come out. This comes out, I listen, I have the same reaction. Is this fun anymore? Like, I like Kendrick. I listen to Kendrick stuff more than I listen to Drake stuff. But I don't mind some of Drake's stuff as well. But now I'm like, is Kendrick a bad... Okay, we should say what's happening.
Okay, yeah, we should talk about the thing to the people.
Should we go right to the grunt of it, or do we...
I can't... Yes. Yeah.
All right.
There's a lot in there.
Basically, Drake makes the claim that Kendrick beats his wife.
Yeah.
That there's some physical abuse going on there.
Yeah.
Also, that Kendrick proposed to his, not wife in 2015, and they still haven't gotten married. And now he's moved to New York while she's still living at family
West Side.
with his kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a line about, like, how could you go to the park? Because they'll both be light-skinned. Because it's like, whoa.
Well, what it is he's saying, I would say that we should take our kids to the park together and they could play because we both got kids of a similar age.
But
however, you might
won't
not
do it.
You wouldn't want... Are you afraid of being seen with anyone who's lighter skinned than you?
Yeah. Also, the first third of this, just the N-word. He's like, oh, you didn't like it when I did that. You didn't like that, did you? You didn't like it when I did this.
It literally...
You mean this? You mean this thing that I'm doing right now? That I'm about to do again? You mean this? You didn't like this?
Yeah.
Huh. Fascinating.
Apparently, the clip that we have at this the start that says, maybe in this song you shouldn't start by saying, and then it goes into him saying the N-word. Apparently that's his mum. Apparently that's a clip of his mum saying that. So and he just goes into it. Like it's fast, it's repetitive, it's that bop, bop, bop stuff. Yeah. He spends like the middle chunk of this, and then some in the other verses, talking about the other rappers, like all of the other 20. And at this point, it's like Kendrick's the focus. I don't think you need to be spending time talking about The Weeknd or Rick Ross even. Like you got... Yeah.
I like the line where it was like, J. Cole's losing sleep on this, not me. Fucking I'm ready to go.
Yeah. I don't think you caught it, but there's a bit where he's talking about his family, and it says, I heard that one of them little kids might be Dave Freeze. Dave Freeze!
Yeah. I remember it, but
Dave Freeze is someone that Kendrick works with his like company PG Lang, which is their like creative company, saying that now Kendrick has 2 kids. Drake saying that, hey,
one of them might not be yours.
One of them might not be yours. So he's pulling families. I mean, it's called Family Matters.
Yeah.
Now, I will also say there is a music video to this, which you didn't watch because we were looking at the lyrics. But it is the car, like the van from Kendrick's album Good Kid, Mad City, being taken to the car wreckers and being like squished up. And it's like every shot of that, like it getting lifted and all of that.
Okay, there's no way he made this in a day.
Right?
Yeah.
Like this has to be cooked up.
Maybe a response to a response to Euphoria.
Yeah. But then he's bringing the family stuff, which Kendrick brought up.
Yeah.
Not
and he does
8 hours
say,
ago.
like, I didn't start with the kids, you started that shit. So maybe there's moles everywhere. Maybe Kendrick's ship isn't as tight as he thinks it is.
Oh. Okay, now I have a theory with the moles.
Okay.
Which I think just would be good entertainment. And we might not find, who's to say we can find out about this. But I think it would be really cool if Drake had moles that weren't like moles for him, but were friends of his that were feeding information to Kendrick. Or if Kendrick did the same thing. I think that would be a really smart way to get someone to start saying heinous stuff that isn't true. Now, Drake even says at the start of this something about, what is it? Something about receipts. Can't be rapping about rat beef that we can't read. Yeah. Like, bring receipts. If you're going to make these claims, bring receipts. Yeah. So
I love the bit where he's like, I've won, if anyone's counting out there. Like, this is it.
And what do you think at this
time,
point,
buddy?
At this point, do you think he's won, or do you think that Kendrick has something to come back with? He, once again, claiming...
Based on the structure of your question, I think Kendrick has something to come back with.
Well...
But it's hard to step up from there.
Yeah, let's find out because... So that came out at 8 p.m. PST on May 3rd. Then we get Meet the Grahams by Kendrick Lamar, also May 3rd, 8:45.
No way!
Dear baby girl, I'm sorry that your father not active inside your world. He don't commit to much.
On one hand, devastatingly brutal and horrible and grim for everyone involved.
Yeah.
On the other hand, it goes, bum, 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 and that's a really cool sound.
Really cool
So,
sound,
you know, pros and cons.
Yeah.
What?
So Meet the Grams. I
So
mean,
much in there.
it starts out devastating line of Dear Adonis. Now, Adonis, for listeners who don't know, Drake's kid. In a previous rap beef, I believe Pusha T, I can't remember that rap beef to be honest, or even who was a part of it, but it was called out that Drake had a kid that he was hiding, that he didn't let anyone know he had, who was like 6 or 7 or something. Who, to be fair, well, okay, no, not to be fair, because Drake was planning on announcing his kid through like a campaign, and he was going to do an Adidas thing and stuff. Don't commercialize your kid in that way. That's fucked. And also just tell people you have a kid. Or, you know what, I get the protecting your kid.
Yeah, or
don't.
don't. But don't wait and then commercialize your kid.
Yeah, that's fucked.
Yuck.
But yeah, it starts out with Dear Adonis. I'm sorry that man is your father. And it runs through the Grahams, who are, you know, Aubrey Graham, Drake, his family. What did you think?
Again, just like, what? It starts with, like the previous generation, like, yo, sorry, your father sucked. And then, like, keeps going down, like, well, no, I guess it's like, basically he says Drake has another secret kid, at least one.
Yeah.
Like, a daughter, and then others who are just waiting to see if you come. Mm-hmm. And he's saying, like, sorry to those kids. Also has a go at the industry. It's like, I've been in this industry 12 years, and there's some fucked shit going on, and a lot of artists are covering it up. Which is like, what?
And he said Drake has people, part of OVO, who are, you know, sex offenders in the worst way, maybe. Like, he literally says, Drake, I think people like him should die.
Oh, yeah, he says that multiple times.
Yeah.
It's like, I think you and Weinstein should rot in a cell forever or something. It's like, oh, God, okay. I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
No. So from the last song, where we have Drake saying, hey, you physically abuse your wife, and this one where Kendrick's saying, hey, you surround yourself with pedophiles. Like, this is getting bad. And it's like, great, 2 cool rap art. Well, I thought they were cool. Now it's the thing of, is this fun anymore? It was put in a fun way in this song. I don't know. It was creative.
Bum, 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 burner.
Yeah, it's I want to point out from the last song, something I didn't mention was a point that it's interesting going after Kendrick for things like infidelity and stuff like that, because in his last album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, he goes over that. He says, yeah, I've, you know, cheated on my wife. I've had these things while being a celebrity, and I've dealt with these. Basically, it's a therapy session. Mr. Morale is a therapy session. And part of that is, he says, he talks about sleeping with white women for the first time, and how he felt that sort of was a power trip for him, and how he felt like it was some sort of like retribution, and he was taking back something, which is fucked. And both of these people, I think it's worth pointing out, both of these people, they're making claims about each other that they're misogynistic. Yeah. You're both misogynistic.
Very much so.
Like, very much so. And I think that that's being overlooked in the general discussion about this.
Yeah. There's even a section in that one that we just listened to where Kendrick tries to be an intersectional feminist. He's like, you're hypersexualizing these black women, like you're fetishizing it, but kind of doesn't actually shift any of the language about like hoes, bitches.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
You're close, but also you're not even close to actually addressing this, my guy.
And he's also like, you can't even masculinize yourself
when you're standing next to a woman.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, so I don't know. It's also like a culture that we're not a part of. And by that, I just mean like kind of like America, but then also all those subcultures in which it whittles down to. But yeah, the thing with the last song is Drake points out, he's like, you sleep with white women to make yourself feel better. So like, what are you doing, you know?
Calling me too white.
Yeah, when you do that, like, yeah, it's,
and then in this one, Kendrick's like, I made Mr. Morale so that like my kids and my community can listen to it. Like I've acknowledged it, all right?
But also, is that just lampshading?
Yeah.
But also, maybe it's just 8 miling.
Maybe it's 8 miling.
It could be
maybe
8 miling.
Jared Carmichael reality showing.
It could be. Yeah.
Maybe everyone's a bad person.
Maybe everyone's a bad person. That's why I love everyone.
My favorite trope.
I'm becoming a fan of bad people, which I'll talk about later. Shall we go on to the next one? Oh wait, actually, before that, I need to show you the
Album art.
Album art. Meet the Grahams. Can you stall for time for me quick?
I can be stolen for time. We're doing rat beef in depth. I'm stolen for time.
Nice. Here is the album art for Meet the Grahams.
Oh shit! It's the same photo as before, but zoomed out. So we got the gloves. The white and red background turned out to be like a shirt, like a designer shirt with a bulldog on it. And there's maybe some pills, maybe some Ozempic, and receipts. Oh my god, there's receipts. And what's it in the bottom right corner? Is that anything?
No,
Is this like an evidence gathering vibe? Is that what you're suggesting?
What's happened is this got released and Kendrick said, hey, this is a suitcase of stuff taken from your dad. Like, we found it. And this is stuff that we've got on you. So here's here's some pills, some Ozempic pills. This is stuff from your life that we've got.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So he's starting to bring actual physical receipts.
Yeah.
Let's see if that carries through with the next song.
Oh my god.
Now the last one, Meet the Grahams, May 3rd, 2024, 8:45 p.m.
Yep. So that's 3 in a day.
Yes. Next one, Not Like Us, Kendrick Lamar again, May 4th, 5 p.m. Let's go.
Why you trolling like a bitch? Ain't you tired? Trying to strike a chord and it's probably A minor.
If it wasn't so compelling, I would want to look away.
Right?
But it is so compelling.
It's really compelling.
So I can't.
Yeah. It's it's got eyes, ears, glutes all glued. You know? Everything, every part of your body.
Yep.
You're sat.
Yep.
Your eyes are fixated. Because you got to read the lyrics as well.
Oh yeah, you gotta keep up.
And you got to be listening. Not Like Us. He's going all in. Kendrick's going all in on this sex offender pedophile thing, saying, "Hey, you got a bunch of people in OVO. Hey, you as well." Maybe. Like, he's kind of saying that.
What's the line? If there's a woman who's dating you, don't tell Drake about your younger sister. Something like that.
Yeah. If it's something like, here we go. Any woman that talked to him and they're in love, just make sure you hide your little sister from him. Yeah.
Cooked.
Yeah. Oh, there's the line, trying to strike a chord, but it's probably a minor, and just like hangs on that for ages. Oof. There's a lot of mentioning of like, hey, you're still not. You go to Atlanta to get your cred up. You know, you go with all of these Atlanta rappers to you get them on your songs so that you can.
We need a check.
Yeah. Honestly,
you're not a rapper. You're a colonizer.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Look, for this, I'm not feeling this one as much as the others.
Didn't quite hit, did it?
Didn't quite hit.
Don't know why.
And I think one of the things that I really like about Drake's ones is that I think maybe I just like Drake's beat or voice better. Like I love Kendrick's stuff, but when it's a thing that I want to think about while listening to, you know, it's telling an overarching story in one of the albums or whatever, like T-Pab. But this, I really just like going at it and just saying stuff how it is. I don't really want to be thinking about all the little metaphors. I just want you to say damning stuff. But also, at this point, I'm like, this is too damning.
Too much damning stuff.
Too much damning stuff.
Could you tone it down, please?
And this is only, like a day later or something? So he says, I have, how many, like, stocks do I have on stock? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5. Implying he has 10 songs stocked up.
Oh,
ready to go. Which I'm like, quality over quantity at this point, you know?
I love that he was like, I ain't got time. Oh, the reason I took so long is because I was spending time with my kids. And it's like, the reason I took so long is because I was riding nonstop for 2 weeks.
Yeah, we know you're lying about your kids because you're not living with them. Which is really interesting because when we go to the first few songs, it's Kendrick saying, I'm just a family man. I'm just a family man spending time with my kids. I have a boring life. What do you mean? And Drake's like, you haven't seen your kids in ages. Like, you're not even married to your wife. Like, you're in separate time zones by a billion. What are you doing? Yeah. The album art is Drake's mansion. And we've got a bunch of red pins with like heads on them, which is an indicator. Like if you go on like a sex offender map, because they have those because you need to be public, whatever, on a list, you'll see something like that. And there's like 13 like dots on this. So once again, Drake surrounding himself with bad people. We're not good.
Not a good look.
No, none of this is good. The music is all right, but like I don't know. Now, that came out once again May 4th, 5 p.m. We have one more, and this one more comes from Drake.
Yep.
Now, we've been waiting on Drake for a while.
Yep.
This is a few songs in a row, and you know, it's getting to the point where it's like, well, we were waiting on Kendrick, and you're calling him out for it.
Yeah. What do you got,
What
big
do you
guy?
got? Also, is Kendrick just going to release something immediately after? Like 40 minutes or whatever he did last time?
Someone's got their finger on the button just waiting.
Ready to go on to, select publish on the YouTube. So this song.
So when was this?
This one was,
It's later in...
let's see, it was 1 day ago.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not giving me, it's on YouTube, so I can't actually get the proper thing, but it is...
Like May the 6th or something.
Yeah. Or in the US. May the 5th. So like a day after. Not like us. Releases a song called The Heart Part 6. Now, just a little bit of prep. Kendrick, every time he goes to release a new album, will release a song called The Heart Part 1, The Heart Part 2, The Heart Part 3. Recently, it was The Heart Part 5 for Mr. Morale.
Yep.
And it's a bit more of an emotional, bit slower, like long run, freestyle-y kind of vibe. But so Drake's coming out with a song called The Heart Part 6.
That is conniving.
Very good move.
Yeah.
So let's give that a listen and we'll come back.
We plotted for a week and then we fed you the information. A daughter that's 11 years old, I bet he takes it. We thought about
Huge if true.
Right? Massive if true. Now, Drake's gone ahead and said, hey, you're so desperate for things against me. We fed you the info on an 11-year-old daughter? What are you talking about? Like, that's not... No, I'm not hiding another kid. I didn't do it twice. Like, so now...
He starts with like, I'm a war general. I always prepare. I got medals and honors and shit. Then he's like, everything you found, we plan it. Which is like odd strategy.
Yeah. Or,
very odd.
I don't know if it's okay. No. Yeah. Well, he does talk about that evidence, like that physical stuff. He talks about the glove and the shirt and the pills and now that Maybach glove. Obviously the thing with O.J. Simpson. Was that a Maybach glove? I'm just going to check real quick. Was it a Maybach glove?
Was it a Maybach glove?
I don't know if it's a Maybach glove. But it seems like the glove, from what I've seen people be talking about, is the gloves is a reference to O.J.
Right.
Because O.J. killed his wife.
Yeah, gotcha.
The shirt, what does it say at the bottom of the shirt?
A shorty collection?
Yeah. You know what Drake loves making fun of Kendrick about?
How he's short?
How he's short.
Oh, what the shit.
Yeah. I don't know. It's too hard to read like some of the stuff on the pills and one of them's Ozempic or whatever. But like there's a couple of things that it's like, okay. That's too specific. Like the shorty collection, I feel like is too specific. The one glove, yeah, Yeah.
Makes you think.
It makes you think. Now he also is like, I knew you were gonna go, the sex offender route, that's the obvious route that you were gonna take. I knew that you were gonna do that. And he basically says you're wrong.
Yeah.
He says you're wrong.
He says more than that. He says you're wrong and you're so obsessed with this because you've been a victim in the past.
Yes. Which I think Drake needs to pay a bit more attention to Mr. Morale, because in the song that he's referencing, Mother I, Kendrick has to say to his mother, I wasn't, abused by my cousin. His mother's like, hey, did your cousin touch you? Did you? Yeah. And he's like, no, I didn't. And she won't believe him because she has a history of that happening to her. So so in that song, he's not the person that's had that happen to him. But Drake seems to be saying that it did. I don't know. Like
that's the impression I got.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Pay attention to your opponent's lyrics.
I love the bit when Drake said, yeah, that last one, like, I could dance to that if it wasn't for fucking lies.
Yeah. Pretty accurate. But that's how I feel about all this. I was like, I could dance to this if it wasn't like
So intense.
people just calling other people horrendous things.
Yeah.
But I think what this proves is, or not proves, but it just reinvigorates the knowledge that all this is hearsay.
Big time.
And are we going to get any resolution to this?
Not anytime soon. Maybe one day.
Is it going to get darker and deeper? Because we haven't had a song.
Well, one whole day.
Well, actually, yeah, that song came out yesterday. So by the time you hear this, listener, there'll probably be about 4 more, maybe. Yeah. Drake talks about like, hey, this has been good. Okay, Drake ends like every one of his songs like, this has been a fun ride. This has been good. Anyways, glad I won this. And I'll see you later.
What's that? We're still going. I'll go again.
And he's like, look, hey, if anything came out of this, I'm glad that your fans got some music from you and some proper rap
I'm
stuff.
glad he got you back in the game.
Yeah, I respect that.
Do you think that Heart Part 6 is it Drake saying, like, I could do a whole album of this? Or saying, like, yeah, I know you've got these 10 songs coming or whatever, I'm going to preempt it? Or is it just at some point you're going to want to release a Heart Part 6 and now it's this now?
It's a jab because, like, if Kendrick ever releases a Heart Part 6...
This is going to come up every time.
Yeah. Like, what do you do? It's been his rollout for all of his discography.
Yeah.
If, like, what are you going to do now? Are you going to do, you know what it's like? It's like when Drake said to Metro, who's produced, like, quite a few of Kendrick's disses, said, shut up. He said, shut your house up and make some drums. Because, like, what else is he going to, he's a producer. He can't sing or rap. So, yeah, I guess he's going to make some drums. Like, that's the only thing he can do is bow down and make some drums. Now, he's actually, just in the past, like, day, made a song or a track called BBL Drizzy, basically, because people are making all these claims about how Drake's gotten physical surgery and things, BBL being a Brazilian butt lift. And so it's like, BBL Drizzy, BBL Drizzy. It's pretty catchy, but he's put that up and he said, anyone who makes the best verse on this, I will give you a second free beat. So now rappers all over the world are like, well, we were going to stand on the sidelines. However, I really want to get a free beat from Metro Boomin. So I will make, dip my toes into this beat. So,
oh my God.
Metro did well with that retort of,
it's like putting a bounty on someone's head.
Yeah, it fully is. Yeah. Where do you think this is going to go?
Downhill.
Downhill?
Downhill and further into the mud.
Do you think still good music, still retorts? Are we going to get those whoa moments, or do you think it's...
I reckon the music's going to stay interesting. And they're kind of out of things to say. Yeah. Like, they've called each other the worst possible things.
Yeah.
So where do you go from there, Yeah. And each track is kind of losing a bit of its specificity as it goes. So it's like it's hard to grab onto it and respond to specific lines.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
On a serious note, serious note 1, which isn't very serious, this is the best rap beef that's ever existed in the history of hip hop. Like, and the fact that we're living through it and it's this live, the fact that a song can come out 45 minutes after the other one. Yeah. Crazy.
Exciting.
Amazing lyricism, amazing beats. It's brilliant. So that's really cool. Second, the more serious thing is I think we've lost like 2 of the big 3. Like, if this stuff is true about either of them, that Drake's, protecting people around him who are sex offenders, or is that himself fucked and terrible and should rot in a cell with Weinstein. Yep. If Kendrick puts hands on his wife, that's one of the lines in this where he says, in this song, he says, and Whitney, who's Kendrick's wife, you can hit me if you need a favor. And when I say I hit you back, it's a lot safer. I promise. Oofed. So if that's true about Kendrick...
Also fucked and bad.
And fuck off, Kendrick. Like, yeah, it's just awful. Awful.
It's a bit grim, actually.
It's very...
It's kind of depressing.
But it's also like, happens with so many celebrities.
Yep.
And it's kind of good that this beef is happening because then it's coming to light.
Yeah.
If we didn't have this and
We wouldn't know.
Kendrick, as is literally said on this song, apparently hasn't seen his kids in 6 months. If he's pretending to be a, great father figure, whatever, but no, he's this terrible person when it comes to family and then, other stuff, I guess, as well, then maybe we shouldn't be like, best rapper around, let's give him a Grammy every time he opens his mouth. I don't know. Maybe rap beef is good. Maybe let's dredge up everyone's darkest moments.
No, let's not.
Put it in the light and then judge them on that. What do you reckon? What's your darkest moment?
We're doing it right now.
Yeah, I'm doing it right now. And then we'll stop after you because I'll get really sad and I don't want to do it to myself.
No, look at that. We're out of time. We got to move on with the podcast.
We actually kind of do.
We really actually do.
All right. Well, that's been rap beef.
Listeners, you won't know this, but we've been here for an hour and 20 minutes just on rat beef.
Also, I will say that I have another bit of music recap on the topic of music.
Okay.
I saw a musical the other day. Now, this week it's my turn for Started It.
Yep.
So I can't talk about that. But I think at the end of the episode, because we have a list of the best musicals that we've seen. Well, they're high school musicals. This was, and this counts.
Okay.
This counts. It isn't a high school musical, but it technically counts.
Why? What is it?
You'll have to find out later. I'll do it at the end of the episode after we've gone over our topics. Okay. Is that fine? Is that fair?
Fine.
But I thought I should, we need to give a little update.
A little pepper. A little pepper. Hey. You got a drink this week?
No. Okay, I have a big bottle of water. Does that count as a drink?
Yes, that counts as a drink.
Look,
a big bottle of water.
You've been bringing me drinks for the past few weeks.
I know.
So I was fully prepped for you to say, yes, I have a drink.
That's unfortunate. My apologies.
That is really... Last week I brought a drink even though
Yeah, so what? You should have brought that one.
You Pavlov's dogging me. Don't Pavlov's
You salivating over there?
I'm being Pavlov dogged. That's where that term dogging someone comes from, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not fun to be dogged over here.
No.
I'm a thirsty dog.
You know what would help with that? If you brought yourself a drink.
If you brought me a drink.
Well, you've got a drink.
Famously.
You've got a big bottle of water.
Every time Pavlov rang a bell, he gave the dog an alcoholic beverage.
But you know what the point of that experiment is, right? You know what the last part of that experiment is?
To see how alcohol affects a dog? To see if you can make
that was a very early part of the experiment. I'm saying, do you know what the last part was? The last part was ring the bell, don't provide anything, and see what happens. That's the whole test. That's the point. So, ding ding, motherfucker, you got a drink this week?
I'm just going water. My throat is a bit sore, so I do need the water. But it would be nice to have something else.
I'm sure it would.
I don't know, maybe a tea? You could make me a tea?
Well, it's cordial downstairs. And tea.
But then I'd have to stop the podcast. We can't stop the podcast.
No, we could never stop the podcast.
No, it's impossible. Once we start going... You
just can't stop.
There's no way to...
You just can't.
It's impossible.
I mean, you heard how smooth and flawless that whole intro section was.
Yeah.
Not a single cut in there.
Not a single cut. We've never actually cut something.
It's true.
We've never cut something down.
Every time we talk about editing the podcast, we mostly just mean just looking at it and being like, another perfect one.
Yeah. Is that not what people do? Well, I mean...
I guess not.
I think that we're like any audio engineer. We craft the perfection beforehand. That editing in post. No one wants to edit in post. Ideally, you have perfect content that you craft beforehand. You set it up right. You make sure all the levels are good. You record it, and then you upload.
Yep.
We're doing a Mary Jane Watson at the end of the video game Insomniac's Marvel's Spider-Man 2.
Oh, don't get me started on Mary Jane's podcast at the end of Insomniac Spider-Man 2.
Where you just say the end of your podcast and you click the upload button as if there's nothing in between those two segments.
Oh, drives me crazy. All we ask for is some basic representation, all right? And what do we get? Tokenism.
The podcast community has been tokenized for too long. That's what I say.
Yep.
You know what else I say?
What else do you say?
How do we do this podcast?
I was about to ask you the same thing. I was going to say, speaking of setting things up.
Okay. Well, too bad, because I did it first.
Oh, you got in first, did you? Well,
I'm the queen
thing
of
that is going to happen.
segues this week.
I'm going to look into my crystal ball. Looks oddly shaped like a microphone, but it's a crystal ball. And I'm going to see what's going to happen in the future. I'm going to put my fingers on my temple because that always helps when people do mental stuff. Jett is going to talk about something they've started. Oh, I've got to switch hands. Reuben is going to talk about something that they have finished. And then they're both going to muck around for a bit at the end with the section up and up. Sorry, I was in a trance. What did I predict? I couldn't even hear myself.
You predicted that you're going to bring me a drink.
Did I?
Every week from now on.
Did I?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see, won't we? It'll be either my credibility in tatters or I have to do a very small task. I wonder which one it will be.
I can tell you something that I've started.
Please do.
So I was freaking out a bit last week because I was like, oh, what am I starting? What should I start? Turns out I have started something.
Great. What's that?
I've started the show Heartbreak High Season 2. Have you heard of Heartbreak High Season 2?
Yep.
What do you know about it?
You familiar with Heartbreak High?
Yep.
Well,
No.
they rebooted it.
Oh.
And this is the second season of that.
So it's a reboot.
Pretty sure.
Pretty sure. Have you seen the original?
No.
Do you know what it is?
No.
Okay. High school teen drama.
In
With the
Australia.
twist. Yeah, well, you fucking just spoiled the twist.
And that's how it's done, folks.
I just cut in with the twist.
Yeah, I can. I even tricked you into thinking I didn't know what the twist was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, now that's the end of that segment.
Okay, great.
I was going to say with a twist and then
Should
not
people
reveal
start
the
it?
twist to the end.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
I ruined it.
You absolutely
Can you think of a
ruined it.
second twist? Download too slow.
No. No, there's nothing.
Okay.
But I will tell you about the show because the show's pretty good.
Okay, all right. Tell me about the show.
Okay, so high school drama in Australia, in Sydney. I thought it was in Brisbane for a while. It's not.
No, you'd be able to tell if it was in Brisbane.
Yeah, right? I feel like it'll be dusty.
I feel like it would be insufferable.
Because of the
People.
Yeah, because of the
From
people.
Queensland.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
to be clear.
I haven't been to Queensland in years.
Good.
When's the last time you were there?
A couple of years ago.
Okay.
Like many.
What did you do?
We went to an island. What else do you do in Queensland? You go to a beach or an island. That's it.
Apparently, there's an island out in Queensland that is the island that they filmed Scooby-Doo, the live-action movie.
Huh. I believe it.
I wonder if it's the same island.
Probably not.
Tell me about the island you went to.
You want me to tell you about Magnetic Island?
Well, I was going to try and decipher it was the same Scooby-Doo island. It's not.
Oh, jeez.
Did it have a line of
I'm ruining all your bits today.
dilapidated boats?
No.
All right. Well, the island in Scooby-Doo has that.
You catch a ferry out there, and this was like the bumpiest ferry ride I've ever been on. People were sick. People were crying. Like grown adults were like sobbing. But my brother and I were sitting at the very front end of the boat on the seats inside, but right as far forward as we could, and just like riding the waves, jumping like probably like 40 centimeters in the air at times, like boom, wee, yelling so obnoxiously loudly, driving everyone else probably insane. But boy, it was fun.
See, I'm imagining now that you're in like a little dinghy. And the reason why everyone's crying is because you're the one rocking the boat. You're just jumping up and down, and there are babies there. There are parents like, can you just whining to your parents like, can you please fucking control your kids? We're gonna capsize. We're in the middle of nowhere.
Wee!
Whee! Sounds like a brilliant time.
It was great fun, but just for us, not for anyone else.
Did you do the same on the way back?
Nah, the sea was flat and calm and nice. Boo. The sun glittered off the waves. Boo. There was a soft, cool breeze. Boo.
Give me some rocky
Give me a
seas.
roller coaster any day.
Yeah. Although one thing about the ocean is it's a bit scary. Like if it gets real rocky. Like
Disagree.
Have you ever seen those? I used to watch them with my dad sometimes. Those reality documentary shows on like the Discovery Channel. It's like here's people who are out in the middle of the ocean who are hunting crabs. Like their whole thing is to pull crabs out of the ocean. And sometimes the weather's so crazy and the waves are so tall that it rocks the boat so far. You're like, oh, they're going to capsize or like it'll get flooded. And it's like in a storm. It's just terrifying. Boats can, they really, I mean, they're meant to, but they can really like rock to a ridiculous angle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like, no, yeah, it's true. They can go almost 90 degrees and be fine sometimes.
I think the show was called Let's Get Crabs.
That cannot be true. If you can show me documentary evidence of Let's Get Crabs, I'll give you $10.
I'm going to find it.
I feel like the ocean should scare me, but after watching the scene in Frozen where the parents' ship sinks, I'm like, nothing can scare me. That like no ocean could possibly be that bad. Like, have you seen that? There's like the wave is taller than the boat, and there's like 3 or 4 waves going in different directions. It basically creates like an impossible valley, and then like swallows the boat.
That's what the
whole.
ocean does.
Nah.
That's what I saw every time I watched Let's Get Crabs.
Get Crabs?
Yeah.
You saw 4 ocean waves making a wormhole on Let's Get Crabs.
Yes.
Okay, that's cool. That's pretty scary.
Yeah. Anyways.
I'm gonna never look into this again because I'll never be able to touch the ocean again.
Why don't I tell you about this show that's set by the ocean?
Yeah, you
which
should do
also,
that.
Sydney seems nice.
No, Sydney sucks.
All right.
Sydney sucks and it's all Sydney propaganda. Which suburb of Sydney is this set in?
Well, okay. In the most recent, one of the episodes I watched recently, I'm 6 episodes into this 8-episode season. They were at Taronga Zoo.
Okay.
And they have this nice view of the city, and you look over and you look through the harbour, and there's an island that's kind of like has a bunch of like foresty area in the distance, and then you have the city and the skyline, and you see the harbour bridge, and it seems really nice and very like quite green and lovely.
Here's the thing about Sydney. Sydney's got 2 types of place. One of them is like very rich, fake touristy, people who live there have millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. And then you go one suburb further over and it's like everything sucks and is horrible. Mm. And I don't want to be in either of those places ever.
Okay, yeah.
Now, Melbourne, I'll be the first to criticize Melbourne.
Do it.
But okay, Docklands.
Nice, good
Got
one.
him.
Got him right
You
in the
want
heart.
more? Frankston.
Frankston isn't that bad.
You want me to really stretch it?
Yeah.
Geelong.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But I'll say this about Melbourne. It's got one of everything. It's got every type of thing.
Yep.
We certainly have a variety of just stuff.
I'd say we don't have enough of
Some things.
I think we need a denser variety.
A denser, you mean like things that are different should be closer?
Yeah.
Dude, South Bank and Docklands are next to each other.
South Bank and Docklands are the same.
What? This is outrageous.
What is South Bank?
South Bank has like all of the arts precinct and a bunch of nice food and the river and green bits.
No, South Bank sucks.
No, South Bank's fun.
South Bank is like the south of the city where Crown is.
Oh, well, that bit of South Bank sucks.
Yeah,
I think I'm
that's South
talking
Bank.
about a specific 200 metre by 100 metre kind of block of South Bank.
Okay. That is giving density of different things.
Because then you go down the road and it's Crown,
Yeah.
which is completely different again and also bad.
Yeah. No, I just want everything like all of the suburbs of Melbourne.
Yeah, to be
except for
closer.
the eastern one and the western ones, I guess.
Yeah.
I want the northern suburbs of Melbourne
To be closer to the city.
to be closer to the city.
Yeah,
I want
that's
it
fair.
all, no, I want it all squished. Like
We could Inception it. You know when Paris folds over? So everything's still an equal distance when you want it to be.
Yeah.
Like the eastern suburbs that are literally defined by their distance from everything else, you can still drive there. But when you need to get somewhere quickly, places that you believe should be closer, like say Coburg and Carlton, you can just, I don't know, parachute, climb a rope ladder from one to the
oh,
other.
you're saying it flips so it becomes the sky.
Yeah, fold it.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's what I want.
No?
No, I want like
There would be upside down buildings like in Jack. Oh no, that's the one you don't like. Oh no, you wouldn't want that. This is bad.
yeah,
I've done a bad.
no,
This
this
is
is not looking
awful.
good for
I've
you.
just failed to convince you.
What I'm thinking is like
I've
just
accidentally referenced Jack and Dexter: The Lost Frontier. This is awful.
the one that I hate and doesn't exist.
The one that you hate in the franchise that I hate. This is bad.
I want an Asian grocer next to a wine art dining place, like a place where you can wine and paint.
Yep.
That's also next to like no, I'm just describing Brunswick.
Yep. I
I
was
was going
going
to
to
say
bring
like
that
a
up when you
bouldering
were
place,
done.
but those are all. I don't know. Those are all the things in Brunswick. I don't know. I just want a bit more. I just wish everything was closer and smaller. I don't think we should have big buildings like
None
big
at all?
stores. Nah, make them
Oh,
more
not big
small.
stores.
Yeah, but
An
like, what do you
occasional
need a
big
big building for? Like, you're a dancer. You wouldn't understand.
Outrageous.
Would you prefer a smaller building to a bigger building?
Well, we need at least one big building because otherwise you can't be like, yo, have you gone to the Sky Deck yet? And
No,
you have
I
to
mean
be
like
no.
wide. I mean like a large space. I think we shouldn't have large spaces.
Oh, what? No, disgusting. I disagree completely. Shops suck. Shopping malls suck, but we should have a variety of places.
I think we should have a bunch of small places.
You just want to increase the number and density of back rooms of bars. That's what you want.
Well,
Oh my God, I went to this bar
yeah.
in Richmond a couple of weeks ago, And it
get into the back room?
Well, it was all back rooms. There was like
What?
7 rooms and an upstairs and a separate building with a table tennis table.
Yeah.
And like a second way to go upstairs or downstairs, which had more secret rooms. Also, the thing that was happening in those secret rooms was a gay stuff market.
Oh my
I was thinking about you
God.
the whole time. I was like, you would love this place.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it was great.
Oh, I'll have to go.
Every room you're in, it was like, oh, am I allowed to be here in the back room of this bar?
Wow, I was going to tell you about one room that I was out the other night at the retreat on Sydney Road,
Yep.
and they had the upstairs open. Now the upstairs isn't always open. It turns out at the upstairs there's a room there that has a pool table. And you're like, all right, it has a pool table. So what? Now this pool table was round.
Wait, not elliptical.
No,
Okay.
circular. And there was a hole in the center
Yep.
of the pool table.
Great.
I'd never seen this before. Have you seen this before?
I have seen this before.
Alright,
It's a
boo.
British thing, right?
I don't know.
They play a slightly different game on it?
I don't know. I didn't get to play. I didn't get a chance. But that was cool. Anyways, not as exciting as your gay stuff.
Yeah.
Market.
Yeah. I say it was in Richmond.
Yeah.
That was a different place we were at. This one was just off like Princess Freeway. Like the bit where it turns into Alexandra Parade.
That's basically the same place.
I think it was in Collingwood.
It's just like one parachute down
Yeah, exactly.
from the Sky Buildings.
That's right.
From Jack 4.
That's why I got confused.
Not Jack 4. Jack and Daxter, The Lost Frontier, that specifically isn't a sequel to... It doesn't matter. Can I tell you about this show?
Yeah, you insist.
I wrote note... Do you not care about Heartbreak High?
Not as much as I care about reverse sky buildings. Apparently.
Heartbreak High. Now, last season...
Actually, yeah, no, wait. I really like what I've heard about this show. Tell me about it.
last season, it basically kicks off with a sex map. There's a
Yes.
map that's drawn on one of the abandoned buildings, like a portable that they don't use anymore. Because like every high school in Australia, every public high school has like a portable that they don't use anymore. Where 2 characters, Amory and Harper, best friends, they draw a map of basically who's slept with who's hooked up with who, sometimes what they've done. And it even has like a key. Like they're like, all right, spirally blue lines mean this.
Yes.
Dashed lines mean this, you know? So that was the crux of last season. It gets found out that Amory did it. She gets called Map Bitch. And then other things happen in the season, but I don't remember. But it was pretty good. This season, there's someone going after Amory.
Damn.
Who keeps leaving messages and dead birds for her.
Spooky?
Yeah. Who they aptly call Bird Psycho. So throughout this...
You gotta love Australians. See a thing, name it.
See a thing, name a thing. Now, it's... Sometimes they care about Bird Psycho. Sometimes they've got bigger issues going on because once again, this is a high school drama, and it's very dramatic in the way of, I think, similar to how Euphoria was dramatic, but it's not as quote unquote mature as Euphoria. It doesn't take it really dark and feel icky, but there are so many things that are happening to so many characters that are real things. So you might know of people who went through that, or you might have gone through that yourself through high school. However, all of it happening at once is like, all right.
I love this approach to filmmaking.
Yeah?
Yeah. When they're like, look at this character. Okay, you like him? Now, everything's going to happen to them. Oh, good things or bad things? No, everything. Everything's going to happen. Oh, when? All at once.
But it also has enough characters that it's okay. Like I was writing down the list of characters in my notes, and it's long. Like we have Amory, Quinny, Darren, Rowan, Malachi, Spider, Cash, Chook, Woodsy, Jojo, Voss, Missy, Sasha, Ant, Harper. And that's just like...
Australia, everyone.
Yeah, we have real fun nicknames. But yeah, so that's going on. Another thing that's going on, I'm going to list a few things that are going on, and then you can say which one you want me to talk about. So we have Bird Psycho. We also have the Sluts and the Cum Lords. These are political parties running for school captain of the school. We have a love triangle. We have a men's feeling pit. We have a camp trip where the students are left unattended intentionally in the middle of the woods on a camp trip overnight. And then this one's, it says moving. A couple of characters are moving out.
Woof.
Some of these are very different scales.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you want to hear about first?
First, I want to hear about Love Triangle.
Love Triangle?
As a challenges follow-up.
Yeah, 2024, year of the Love Triangle.
Yep.
We're getting some great ones. Like you said, challenges. This is also really good. We have Amory. Now, Amory had a relationship with Malachi in the last season. We're going to do mid-spoilers for this because, once again, I'm 6 episodes into an 8-episode show, and it's been out a while, so whatever.
Here we go, spoilers.
I recommend watching it. Amory was with Malachi in the last season. Then, I don't know, it's a bit on again, off again, but it's very cute. Malachi, very cute. A lot of these characters are like, yeah, I really like them. Also, all horrible people.
Great.
Also,
Another one of my favorites.
the year of horrible people once again. But like horrible people that are you still want to vouch for. Mm-hmm. What do we got? We got challenges. We got Jared Carmichael. Maybe this is just what I like.
Maybe you're just finding what you like.
Bad people. What does this say about me?
That you're a good person and you're fascinated by how these people work. You're like, what makes you tick?
Yeah, but what does it say about the people around me?
Oh, I don't know.
Who's
I'm
to
going
say?
to not think through that any further.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, I chose to be on this podcast with you solely because there's no clashing, and I don't think that I'm exploiting your personality for entertainment.
Okay, that's great. That's nice to know. I'm going to not think through this any further.
Perfect. The love triangle is really, really nice to see because all of the corners touch. Once again. All the corners touch. So we also have Malachi. They sort of like fall out because at the start of the season because Malachi is sort of realizing he has...
I think we should call it a love elbow.
What?
No. The thing that is not this, that has always happened, where it's like, it's a love triangle, which usually just means like there are two people pursuing one person. Love elbow. Because the conflict between the first point and the third point is boring or not really existent, or there's no tension there. It's just an angle like that.
Why would we call it an elbow?
Because it's an angle like that.
Why don't call it like a love L? I thought you were going to say because you can't touch your elbows together. Like one of the things don't touch.
Most people can't lick their elbow?
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
All right, we'll call it a love elbow lick.
Great. A love elbow lick.
Because if you get
Because it's
angle,
unsatisfying and most people can't make it work? Angles and shit.
No, I like the unsatisfying.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. Malachi's interested in this new person, Rowan, who's farmer boy from rural New South Wales, but it's really not that rural. But everyone just he rocks up with like a farmer's jacket on the first day, so everyone like, they're like farmer wants a husband, you know. Yeah. So that's fun, and then as the story goes on, Amory and Rowan kind of start to get in on a thing. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I'm glad that we're at this level that this can happen in media. You know, it's been a long time coming. Mm-hmm. In more ways than one. That's a love triangle. Can I tell you about the sluts and the cumlords?
I want to hear about the forest trip.
Oh, fine. Well, it was a forest trip. Great segue. Because basically what's happened is there's a teacher who wasn't at the school at Hartley High last term because he was on, I don't know, leave for whatever reason, but he's like the PE teacher. He comes back. Now in the last season, we have this teacher, Jojo, and she is like very, I don't know, emotionally intelligent, is like a good teacher in the way of like, let's talk about how you're feeling, you're going through changes and things. Basically, when the map happened, she created a class called the Sexual Literacy Tutorial or something, SLT. It's sluts. So everyone just starts calling it sluts, which is great because it's like, if you're in that class in real life, you'll be like, all right, it's called sluts. So that is a mandatory class for kids to go to because of all this sexual stuff going on in the school. They're like, all right, we need to do something about it. This guy has come in and is like the anti that. Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah, we've got issues, so the issues are with men, but that's because men are being told to tell their emotions all the time and be vulnerable. No, this is not how men were like back in my day.
Oh God.
We need to be hardy. We need to be strong. We need to bring strong men back. All men need to be strong. There's literally a scene where they do. They're digging in a I don't know, like a gardening bay, where he just tells them all to dig. And once they dig enough, he's like, great, here are bits of papers. write your deepest, like darkest feeling, the thing that you're feeling at the moment, something that you want to get rid of, that you want to deal with, or you want to be not there anymore. Write it down, put it in the hole, cover it
Bury
up.
it.
Literally bury your feelings. Bury your emotions.
Oh my God.
So he's been a fun antagonist for this. He kind of sucks. So this camp, they go on to school camp. And one of the things that his ideas is, we're going to take these kids on a trip. We're going to drive them not drive them, kind of drive them in the sense of like a sheep drive. Like they just walk, but they're like herding these kids, herding this horde of kids into the middle of the bush, blindfolded. And then they say, all right, wait like 30 seconds and then take off your blindfolds and then find your way back to camp. And then they dip.
Yeah.
And so these kids are stuck in the woods. And they're like, well, should we find our way back to camp? And they're a bit divided at this point because once again, we have like 3 political parties running for school captain. And so the Spike, the leader of the Cum Lords, is like, all right, Cum Lords, we're going this way. We're going to make Cum, by the way, it stands for, oh no, I've forgotten it. It's something understanding of masculinity. And then Lords is like learning something. Like and that is the group that is like associated with this sports teacher.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's like, all right, we're going taking the high ground. We're going over here to, build out, set up. They have nothing to set up.
Yeah.
They don't have a camp to set up or anything. And then
I'm going to do vaguely manly things.
And then Sasha's like, all right, sluts, we're going over here. And Amory's like, all right, other sluts, because the sluts group is sort of, they're 2 people running for the same party. It's confusing, but they all split up. And then they just end up, like, no one actually works to get back to camp at all. And then eventually one of them is going for a walk and finds mushrooms. And this brings the whole group back together. And they're literally all huddling over these mushrooms like, do you reckon they're edible?
Do we eat these?
Oh, they realize also they don't really have much food anymore.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't.
So they're like, do you reckon they're edible? Like, could we cook them? I don't know. And then one of them turns out has already taken some and is off by a tree nearby, talking to the tree.
Just tripping balls.
High as a fucking kite. So all of these students, like, it's got to be like 30 or so of them, 35, all just decide to take the mushrooms and trip balls. And they have a great time out in the bush together.
That's great.
While the teachers, which is the PE teacher, which I think that's the guy's name's like Voss, and Jojo are back there like, where are they
out.
back? It's almost dark.
Yeah.
PE teacher's like, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
This is they need to do this. And Jojo's like, we need to call emergency rescue.
Yeah.
And so
That's crazy. That is crazy.
It's insane, right? I was watching it.
No.
You can't like leave kids.
You can't just dump kids in the woods.
Nah, you can't. I mean, some of them are 18, but still.
No.
Still can't dump kids in the woods. So, and then they're there overnight.
Yeah.
And it isn't until the next morning when also something, I won't spoil this, but something bad happens to one of them where they're all like, shit, we need to get back to camp right now. And then they
Forget.
Yeah.
Can't do it. Too hard.
But it was just a fun, like, what if we left a bunch of kids in the woods and they found magic mushrooms and they tripped? Also, the visual effects in this are pretty fun. There's actually especially the visual effects when a character is high. Like there's one where
What? Yeah, what is it?
well, it's very like psychedelic for that one. But there's one where
Shapes and colors and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's one at there's actually a giant like bin chicken who is sort of their leader while they're tripping balls in the bush.
That's great.
Yeah, that they all kind of worship. So in one of the earlier episodes, we have this character Cash who's just gotten out of prison because of the stuff that happened last season, but he's a good person generally. And he's like, he tries to get back into going to school because his partner's at school and he wants to be there with his friends. He goes to the principal and the principal says, nah, you've just been to prison. We don't want you here.
Okay.
So
Ouch.
he's like,
So
well,
much for rehabilitation.
yeah. So, but he feels like embarrassed about that, so he doesn't really tell his friends. So he spends a day, he finds some drugs and just gets high and then just like dances in the park with a random guy and just runs around a playground and has a fun time. And it's all in the style of that, it's not called Smash, but it's like this old music video channel that we used to have. Rage. It's literally in the style of Rage and it says Rage down the bottom. It is so good. It's some of the best visuals I've seen
good
in a show. So,
God,
it also has all those like little Australianisms. Like people say fun Australian things that you'd only hear here. Also like very, obviously teenagery. But yeah, that's good.
Great fun.
It's good. So I will, do you want to hear about the SLTs and the Cum Lords?
Go on then.
They're just two political parties. So basically,
Tell me about the split.
The split?
Yeah.
Okay. So, that's the thing. Everyone hates Amory, who's basically our main character.
Yeah.
Originally it was just one person running for school captain, and that was Sasha, running as part of the SLT's party. Then Spider, one of basically the leader of the guys and the biggest douchebag. However, in this season, he's kind of, I don't know, I like him. He's pretty good.
He's trying.
And when you have good characters that you generally associate like ideologically good, doing bad things, you're like, well, I still like them. But when you have an ideologically bad person who's starting to do good things, like it does, I feel a bit worse about wanting them to get through stuff, but and rooting for them, but I do. I'm rooting for Spider this season. I like him. But traditionally bad guy. He is like, fuck this. Sasha is very socially conscious and kind of hypocritical in that, like to a fault. So it doesn't, I think it plays the extremes of all sides of teenagehood, political activism, I guess. Like when you're a teenager, like, oh, I'm fully into this thing completely and I see no faults in it. And just, so it plays into that, which is actually really good and critiques different sides of things in fun ways. But Spider's like, fuck this. I don't want this person being our school captain. I'm going to run as part of the Cum Lords. And we're here to make men, and make all these boys into men and make them better men. It starts off being better men, like that we got a, serious masculinity, blah, blah, blah. But it's starting, by episode 6, you're starting to see Spider be like, well, maybe better men actually doesn't mean that. So that's interesting. But this split, Amory decides, hey, everyone hates me. I have this bird psycho who's literally dropping dead birds on my doorstep in my home. It's terrifying and is out to get me at any corner. There are so many people that it could be because turns out I'm a bit of a bad person and I've said some bad things to people all the time and like I've gossiped about people and that's not great. So I'm going to use the school captainship as a way to, that campaign to prove that I'm a good person to everyone.
Okay.
And
famously, when everyone hates you, great time to run for office.
That's a good point.
That was meant to be sarcasm, but I actually don't think it worked.
I don't think it worked at all. I think that's actually how...
That's kind of how it works, isn't it?
Don't need majority votes. Well, I mean, you do for this. But,
Is she going to get them? Do you reckon she's going to get there?
I reckon she's going to get people on her side. I reckon she's going to, make it up to people. But I don't think she's going to win. I think Spider might win in that. I think that could
would be interesting.
But yeah, Amory is also running as a part of the slut party. So that's where that split comes from. And just one little twang that I'll bring back to the naming of this and the fun high school Australianisms of it is you must remember, but in our high school, there was a period of time where a few people, including myself, had our own bit of political activism that we wanted to do.
I recall it well.
Now, for those listening, we were in a public school, and the way it worked for a long time is we had a senior campus where those students didn't wear uniform, and we had a junior campus where the students did wear uniform, and that was a really interesting. You sort of graduated into the senior campus, and you got to be your own person. But they combined the school. into one campus, and the school council and the school staff decided, hey, we're going to have everyone wear uniform. We're going to phase it out. Now, this didn't go down too well for a lot of people, and people already weren't happy with the uniform. It was itchy. It was cheaply made in China. For the most part, it was expensive. So there was
Which, figure that one out. Made for chips, and also costs like $50 to buy a pair of pants. What gives?
What gives? Profit? I guess.
Someone's making money somewhere.
Yeah. Well, when every student has to buy them, like it must be a cash cow for the school. So we students realized that, and we're like, actually, we would rather wear our own things. Now, there were some arguments on the other side of, it makes everyone equal, in quotes. You don't have people wearing really nice, fashionable, name brand, fucking whatever, and people who can't afford that stuff. You don't have that hierarchy. However, we're in rural Victoria, also a very like hippie, artsy town. Yeah. No one gives a shit for the most part. So a few of us decided in class one time when the teacher was out that we'd had enough of this. And we were going to run a campaign against this change to have uniform. And we were going to make up posters and create a form, like an online form that people could basically give their feedback on whether they like the uniform or not, what they'd want changed, and give their personal experience, like quotes of their own personal experience. We'd make a bunch of posters with a bunch of QR codes and post them around the school, and we'd also create a social media account where we'd be posting those testimonials. And we had to come up with a name for it. So okay, it has to be about uniform. We need to have uniform in there. We're all together, so yeah, great. We want to have this be a united thing. Uniform together. And what are we doing with the uniform? Well, we're neglecting it. We're like, no, we don't want this. We want to be able to neglect the uniform and focus on individuality. So let's go neglect uniform together. Let's nut. Let's call it nut. And so while watching Heartbreak High, a little bit of my heart's like, look, people might be watching this and being like, this is so
unrealistic. No way.
You have SLTs that are sluts and the cum lords and they blah, blah, blah. Like, that's funny joke, whatever. But it's a bit of my heart where I'm like, no, this is real accurate, actually. Kids will have a thing that they're passionate about and have a bit of fun with it, And when you're a teenager, fucking calling a campaign nut, it's pretty good.
Comedy gold.
Yeah, we had it in a bunch of phrases as well, like let's nut it out, and things like that. Yeah. So high points to Heartbreak High for hitting true on that one. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's everything I have to say about Heartbreak High. I'm enjoying it so far. It's hitting that thing of, nationalism. Yeah, Australia. But so that's definitely going for it for me. But
it's just nice to see a thing you recognize.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if it is Taronga Zoo, a place I've never been.
Sure.
Yeah, so I recommend starting it. It's on Netflix. One thing that was weird is I just watched the 6th episode and it had a next episode. You know how Netflix does that? Progressive, we're going to play the next episode in a few seconds, or you can just click it. Above that, it said 2 episodes to go. Like, you cannot, motherfucker. Yeah. So
what if you just finished it?
What if you just
what if you just kept going?
Yeah. So I recommend it.
So you're going to finish it tonight?
Possibly, honestly. I recommend starting it, seeing if the vibe matches what you like, because, it does have a particular...
It's a bit sex education-y.
It is a bit sex education-y.
We should finish that show.
Yeah, well, I'm getting my sex education satisfaction from this, apparently. Yeah. But no, recommend. I think it's good. Shall we move on to the next segment?
Let's do it.
Reuben, tell me what you finished this week. Also, sorry.
God damn it!
Before you do that.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Too bad, because you're wearing a towel on your head, and I've been looking at it the whole time.
Yeah.
You had a shower before this, I guess?
Yep.
I've had my eyes on it, but it's never processed. This is the first time you've had your head wrapped up.
Yeah.
I just wanted to acknowledge it.
I will often end up doing like a proper hair washing shower on the same morning that we podcast. That often aligns. And then I will normally try and like take it out and desperately try to dry it and then like keep the headphones propped up over the hair so that they don't get wet and so that my hair dries right. And this morning I thought, Why the fuck am I doing all this for? I could just leave the towel on while we record.
So this is the norm.
So this is this is maybe the new norm.
This is the norm until we start video recording
Oh no.
the podcast.
Oh no. Then neither option will work.
Yeah. No, you can have wet hair. I
I would
have
hate it.
wet
I
hair.
would. Yeah. But your hair looks good wet.
Your hair doesn't look good wet?
No.
I don't know.
Looks bad.
I couldn't see right now. Take your head thing off.
I can't. I've got my headphones on.
Fine. You got me. You
Yeah,
got
I did.
me.
Yeah, I did.
No, I love just getting my hair wet because then it curls and then I leave and then I just assume that the air will dry it.
Yes.
It doesn't.
Oh,
Often.
works for me.
It takes like hours.
Okay, that's weird.
I had a haircut the other day and I was like, great, I'll wash my hair properly before I go to the hairdresser.
Yes.
So I did that in the morning. And then by the time I got to the hairdresser at like 12, and I think I had my shower at like 9, hair was still damp.
And also they're like, we're going to wash your hair now.
Yeah. And they're like, don't wash your hair. We don't want you to wash your hair. Hot tip for everyone listening. If you ever go to the hair salon, not that you ever would, but if you ever did.
Ouch.
If I've ever said one thing, if I ever once made a comment on if you ever went to the hair salon one time and I was to make a comment on it, I would tell you that a hairdresser once told me to not before your haircut, wash your hair because they don't want that. Because that's their job is what my hairdresser said to me.
That's my job. I think they just don't want us putting products in it that they don't know about. Because they're like, there'll be a chemical reaction. We might set your hair on fire.
Yeah, and they asked me about that. They said, hey.
What did you use?
What do you put in your hair?
You said sweet coconut oil.
I said
nothing
sweet coconut oil. They said, what? And I was like, yeah, just coconut oil from a jar, like what you'd buy from the grocery store. They said, really? And I said, yep, it works. And they were like, I guess it would work.
Fascinating.
Yeah, they're like, it might, you don't want to like mask your hair too much and insulate it too much because then I don't know, because oils, you want it to be able to air out, like or your scalp mainly more than your hair. But I'm like, so don't put it on all the time. But like, if you just put little bits on here and now, I'm like, yeah, I do.
You're like, I've been doing it for years.
Wow.
Get on board, kids.
It's been like 6 months.
Yeah.
But it's good. I recommend it. If you have curly hair, you know where I got it from?
No.
It's
actually would be
wild
fascinated to
story.
know.
I got it from. I could actually pinpoint when I started doing it. You remember the movie Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse?
I recall.
You remember the character from like, is it Mumbattan?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the India, Manhattan,
Yeah.
Mumbai. Yeah. Someone comments on his hair. Keep in mind, animated film, right?
Yeah.
Digitally animated film, cartoony and stylized characters.
Yeah.
Not a real person.
Yep.
Someone says, wow, you have great hair. And he says, thanks. It's the coconut oil.
Is that the origin story?
That's genuinely the origin story of me putting coconut oil in my hair.
Oh, that's priceless.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they're like, what do you do to it? It's like coconut oil. So I was like, all right.
That's so funny.
I will say it took
That's
a
hilarious.
bit of other information, like the hair product that I was using beforehand to sort of, I don't know, condition my hair after a shower, did have coconut oil in it.
Okay, yeah.
And like a lot of things, they like, oh, we have coconut oil in it. So I'm like, what if I just cut out the middleman, go right to the source?
Yeah.
I have like 6 jars of coconut oil ready to go because they were at cheaper by miles.
Yep. I was going to say, sometimes you see them at cheaper by miles.
Yeah, and so I could get a bunch for real cheap, and now I do. And I'm only like a third through this first jar. It's gonna last me a while. So, anyways, if you ever see me and you like how my hair's flowing, it's the coconut oil.
Coconut oil.
Yeah. Tell me what you finished.
All right, I will. I have finished The Tent. That's right, I went camping.
Is that genuinely what you've done?
No, but I love that I can trick you.
Oh.
I love that after all these years, I can still pull a fast one on you every now and again.
That would have been really fun.
I know.
Have you ever camped?
Yeah, lots.
Name the best time you camped.
Best or most memorable?
Most memorable.
The time that I took a 7-month trip around Australia in grade 1.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's pretty big.
Yeah. Pretty memorable.
Where like around the coastline?
No, actually, up through the middle and then around the coastline.
Did you hit all the states?
No, it took me years to hit all the states. Last one I went to, Queensland.
Oh.
Fucking sucks.
Yeah, but I feel it sounds like you don't like anywhere in Australia but here.
No, that's not true. Mm-hmm. I just haven't yet found another place in Australia that I like that's not here. Tassie, too cold. Queensland, full of idiots. New South Wales, too rich. South Australia, nothing happening. Northern Territory, nothing happening. Western Australia, nothing happening. ACT, it's just Canberra where there's nothing happening.
That's where our laws are made.
Yeah, nothing happening on that front either.
Oh,
Pew, pew, pew. Anyway, so I saw the tent in New South Wales
okay.
where there is something happening.
Yeah, the tent.
The
apparently.
tent, that's it. Nothing else happening.
What's the tent?
The tent is...
Wait, no. Can I guess?
Yes.
Going
this will
off
be fun. Mm-hmm.
previous
Yeah,
things
what do you-
that
yeah,
you've
yeah.
told me, previous phrases you've said in sentences.
Put together
such
the
as-
hints.
Such as on the table,
Yep.
as things go,
Yep.
4-4,
Yep.
the space.
Yep.
I'm going to say that the tent has something to do with dance.
Got it in one.
Just use more words. Use more interesting. Why are you using such simple words? We get it. Look, use simplicity, and then it gives you one. No. Like, okay. What? No, sorry. Rant.
I'm here for it.
Right? You know how I feel about contemporary dance.
Yep. Do
I didn't like
Yes.
it, and now I like it.
Yes.
Right? That's how I feel about
Yes.
it. However, one of my gripes in that gradient
Yep.
was, you aren't told what it is. You just have to work it out. It's
Yep.
a puzzle, or like maybe you don't work it out and it's confused. Like what? You're not really giving the audience an experience.
Sure.
You know, it isn't always like. It's generally pretty broad. You're not like Palin making this experience for them. I don't think your titles are helping. The tent, the space. Like just be more specific.
There's
A
a couple
bundle of
things-
bodies eating each other as they swath against across a dance floor in an amorphous blob. I know what that is. It's a rat king. Like that's
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Describe what you're doing.
Yeah.
Did they have a tent on stage?
They had a tent on stage.
Fuck yes,
You went-
great.
so when
That was
you-
pretty good then.
Yeah,
That was pretty good.
yeah, pretty good. Well, so this is a physical theatre show, which is lots of contemporary dance in there and all mixed together. But I think that there is a more explicit, I guess, my VCU dance teacher would have called it expressive intention. There is like I guess, a more guided curation of the audience experience.
Yeah.
We waited outside a door and someone came out and said, welcome to the tent. This is an immersive performance. A couple of, not content warnings, but just what to expect and welcome.
Yeah.
And then it was a garage door at the side of the studio rolled up, and then we entered. And it was like being transported into another world. There was like a tent, right, in the middle that you couldn't see all of, that was it's made of sheets sewn together and held up by like pulleys, I guess, like a hook.
Okay.
So if you imagine pulling up one sheet from the middle to form like a point, it was like that, but there was many of them all tied together. So it's like, looks a bit like a landscape or like the sea or, yeah.
Is this above you, or is it just one object in the center, or it's not the overhead?
It kind of spans across the studio. So there was not directly above the door, but very soon after you get into the central space, it was kind of elevated in there. There was like many things going on. There was lights and sound, and there was just like lots of stuff on the walls. Like we didn't really have time to clock it at the time, but it became apparent later that it was like scripts and different reference materials from the making of the work. And we're guided in. And one of the performers was telling us about this, what it was, saying like this tent is a metaphor for the different like social structures that we build for ourselves and how they sometimes restrict us. And we went around, there was lots of different things happening. We were guided, step this way, watch out for this rope. Came around, someone was sewing sheets together on a table at the side. And so quite metaphorically dense, I guess. Like there's a very clear concept from the start. And then we got led down to some seats, right? So we traveled the whole course of the studio seeing, there was dancers, bodies moving inside the tent, but they were kind of obscured because the tent has multiple different kind of levels, but when it's high, you can see inside it. But when the pulleys, when the ropes on the outside are low, you can't really see under. And we came round to, I guess, what you would call the front of the tent, and then the show started in a more like official way. Like the script started, the text started, the movement started. But I just want to talk about this tent because they built a tent and it's got like dozens of different ropes holding up these points. And so there was 8 performers, and what they would do is sometimes they would all of them be holding multiple different ropes. And so this inanimate object, I guess, would become like this living, breathing structure that moved and changed our points of view and came into and out of contact with the dancers. And it was amazing.
That's cool.
It was so cool.
That would be a really, like, in terms of stage directing and, like, you know, some performances have a moving stage, or, you know, you have different sets that come in and out. I'm thinking of, like, I don't know, a play or a musical or something like that. It would, just the idea of this constant, like, or the option to unveil a certain section and then veil another one is really, really cool.
And dancers would like appear and disappear from places that you didn't really expect. This is kind of, we'll pop this up on Instagram for people. That's what it looks like, completely deflated. So that's like every sheet lying on the floor.
Right.
But I'm trying to give you a sense of like, it wasn't always in motion, but there was a sense that could always be in motion. Mm-hmm. It was amazing.
Anything can be pulled up or down.
Yeah. And they had all these references on the sides for every shape that the tent can possibly make. Every single one of those ropes has a specific height, like it might be high or low or in the middle, and that forms the shape that we see. And then it was a show about, well, I guess it was about those kind of social or political structures and how we build them. But the method that they used to explore that was a reenactment of one of the early rehearsals of the work itself. So it was very meta. And the performers were playing heightened versions of their own character.
Right.
In a way.
Yeah.
Which kind of breaks your brain a little bit, but there's lots of fun jokes in there, especially if you know a little bit about the performers or the company.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, how much did you know that when you were seeing it for the first time, or was that information, like, explained to you after? You know, the vibe of you watch a thing and then, I don't know, maybe the director or the producer comes out and is like, oh, yeah, I chose this because of this, and it makes this connection because of this. Or, you know, you go on YouTube and watch a fucking breakdown of what the ending of Challenges meant. And then it's like, oh, you understand, like, this connects to this. And you're like, oh, wow, that makes it way better when I know that.
Yeah. Well, we actually saw it like a dress rehearsal. We saw it twice. So we saw an early version, hadn't read much about it, didn't get an intro speech or a program or anything, so went in quite blind. And then the second night, there was like an introduction from the director, from the choreographer, and then there was also programs hanging around. So you got a bit more information in that sense, I guess. But it was also, there was enough in the work to make it apparent. Like the tent, when you do a tour of it, you come around, you sit down at the front, it's quite open, nothing's really obscured, and the performers kind of start. And then very early on, one of the sheets on stage left drops down, and there's this big lit up sign behind it that says reenactment, and that lights on for most but not all of the performance. And whenever that lights on, they're kind of in that character narrative reciting the events of rehearsal mode, and then only sometimes do they drop out of it. So it was clear in the work, I'd say.
What does that, can you define more what the reenactment is? Because isn't that just like, okay, from personal experience, when I did Heather's last year, we had rehearsals. And then, so I would rehearse, I don't know, maybe the scene in Big Fun. And then when I did it on stage, I guess I was reenacting what I did in the rehearsal.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Same thing.
I guess I'm using language that doesn't quite describe it. It wasn't really a rehearsal, it was a development that they were reenacting. So like very early on in the work, before they knew what it was, what the tent looked like, what it was really about, what it was going to be. It was that. So, and it was abstracted. It was not like a verbatim thing where they tried to do it exactly. It was used as a device to explore the theme. So they'll be walking around like, someone might be narrating it like, and then, you know, Elfie was running around with his camera, and then you see Elfie running around with the camera on the screen, and someone else is doing something off the side, and someone's yelling out, what was shape 4? Do you remember? No, you need the black rope for shape 4. Like that.
Okay.
So it was a lot of that, and then it kind of would coalesce into more defined sections of text and dancing that were, I guess, a bit more in that traditional abstracted theatrical vibe.
Yeah.
Like they had a section called Utopia that was quite dancey, that was about like finding the joy and finding how it worked. So less reenactment of rehearsal, more abstracted enactment of an early development of the thing.
Yeah. That's interesting that was a decent chunk of it.
Yeah, like most of it.
Because like at what stage do you decide, oh, a lot of what we're showing is going to be the process in which we made this, but also then like that has to happen after the fact, right? Because if you do it before the fact, then you are making something...
Knowing that it's like it's a performance already, not just doing the thing.
Yeah. And then what are you doing that for? It's like, no.
Yes.
The black rope for that tent needs to be here for this, but it doesn't.
Yes.
Until you say that it does.
Yeah. No, so they had a task initially, and then there was a lot of documentation going on as part of that task. But they actually talk about it in the work. They say like the only instructions given were to form this tent into our utopia, the best that it could possibly be, and to do it democratically.
Right.
And then there's a bunch of lines like someone says like, oh, well, to do it democratically, that means we can do whatever we want. And then later on there's a line where someone says, we just need one person to be in charge. And another character turns to them and says, well, that would be a dictatorship. And they say, but at least things will get done. So, that's how they find the theme and the commentary within the doing of the thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds really cool.
It's really interesting.
I mean, democratically, my mind went to, okay, well, you elect someone to do that, or you create a system in which there is an even distribution that everyone agrees to.
Yeah, and a lot of that came up. Yeah.
Like you could have one person each day being in charge, but that also might lead to chaos.
Yeah, chaos. There was one point where someone almost did a colonialism. They were like, this is too hard. I'm taking this green sheet and I'm taking this pot plant and this cushion. And Otis, you can have that blue sheet. And then someone's like, let's not go down that road.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting to see like conflicts manifesting, and they were performed on the night, but you could kind of get a sense that they did actually happen during the process.
Which would be difficult because I wouldn't initially think of that as like, a manifestation of like, well, a depiction of colonialism.
Well, that's my word. That no one in the work said that.
Sure, yeah. But I can imagine, like, if I was doing something like that, I would at some point maybe be like, no, I know what I want to do here.
Yes.
I'll just take these things and do it.
Yeah. But because it's so interconnected, you can't, or others would have to be subservient to that will or something. Yeah. And a bunch of great lines like, well, what's your vision? Well, I'm building your vision. And someone else sarcastically walks past, Isha strolled past and said, oh, yeah, that's a great vision, dripping with sarcasm.
Yeah.
So, just lots of room for play in there choreographically.
Wow.
Yeah, and theatrically.
Yeah. Who put this on?
So Fling Physical Theatre from the Bigger Valley. Rob McCready was the choreographer and a lot of input from the dancers in the company.
Yeah.
It's really awesome. And then it really, at the end, it kind of fucked me up a bit.
Really?
I was like, oh my God, yeah. There's this beautiful monologue that is read out towards the end as all the dancers, they actually all grab like as many ropes as they can so that every point is being moved and then lower themselves, roll down slowly onto the floor so that as they descend, the tent like ascends above them in unison. And there's a monologue talking about like how, well, we might not be able to find the solution. Like we can talk about the issues and listen to the people involved and work together and collaborate and do our best. And it still might not be enough. And the dancers slowly let go of the ropes and the tent descends, collapses. And that's that photo I showed you of it on the ground. That's the only time we ever see it like that. It's always been alive and up. And then the lights and the music fade and the tent fades down. And because it's material, there's imperfections and like you can see the air flowing out of it. And maybe it's, I don't know, 15 seconds, maybe longer, like quite a slow fade. And I was like, oh my God, we could do everything right and we still might not be able to build something that can hold us all. It fucked me up. It's a great show.
Wait, were the people under it at the time? Because they rolled down to
the way I've described it, I cannot remember. They somehow ended up not.
Yeah, right.
I think they might have gone with the ropes at a certain point because it was just the tent on the ground at the end. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was going to ask how the ropes move and if it is like mechanized or if it's...
No, so the end of each rope would be like a hook that is attached to a sheet.
Yeah.
Then it goes up through a single pulley.
Yeah.
Usually single, maybe a couple of some. So the rope wraps around that and then it goes out towards the wall and a bunch of places around the studio are like, are they called cleats? The ones that
The things on our that we have near our windows for like our blinds.
yes, correct, exactly.
Yeah.
Those, so like a row of like half a dozen of those.
Yeah.
And so there's multiple. Each rope comes in from wherever its pulley is to that. So then from that place, one or two dancers can control, quite a few points at once.
Right. Yeah.
And then they were capable. Like as an audience, you didn't, because you could see them doing that. A lot of those are in view. You didn't really think about it once, but the speed with which they went like dum 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 dum, and then zoop, zoop, and then wrapped it right back up again was like, clearly they'd worked with it for a long time.
Yeah. I'm sure they were stressed about it.
Oh, I'm sure.
One wrong
I'm
thing with the
sure.
pulley and the
And
whole
they're
thing's
also
up.
then like dancing and reciting a script and worrying about pacing, doing all the normal things of performance. But then also there's this really immediate practical challenge where the stakes are quite obvious. Like if you drop a rope, it's like, oops,
Yeah.
that's not meant to happen. So so that's the
Performances are
mechanics
great
of it,
when you're not in them.
right?
You just get to observe and you're
Yep.
like, oh wow, that was a cool thing.
Yeah. And we
Wonder
got to
how
see
they
it
did that.
twice too. So you can watch for different, I absorbed the dancing, for example, much more the second time because I wasn't like, what's happening? Who's saying what? Yeah.
Is this a thing that they're touring at all, or is this just a one?
Fling usually tour their shows, but
Oh.
they've spent years building this, but at least 6 months, like changing the studio to make it work. Like it's so tailored to that space. There's a pole in the middle of that space that someone climbs at one point. There's a wall that hides some stuff from us as an audience. The shape of it is like kind of an L. It's just so specific to that studio. So we were asking like, would you tour this? And they're like, we just can't. Right. We just couldn't. Because you would have to install it in a completely custom way and then change all of the movement and the show, and you would have maybe a day to do, like crazy.
Yeah, wow. That's a bit annoying, I guess, that they
Yeah, I
can't
guess.
tour it, especially if they're used to touring or like.
Gives it a special feeling of being specific to that place.
Yeah,
and those
sure.
people.
Yeah.
But it'd be great for more people to see it.
Are they giving it like an extended run or something because of that? No.
I don't know if they did more shows than normal or not, but yeah.
Yeah, because it sounds really cool. It sounds really, really cool.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Fling someplace, you've been to Fling a couple of times now and seen this stuff. What do you mean by, like, physical theatre is an interesting...
Yeah, I think about this a lot. I haven't had an in-depth conversation with any physical theatre practitioners, but...
Everything is physical theatre. Like,
Sure.
all theatre is physical theatre.
Yes.
It's a fancy way of saying dancing.
Sure, maybe.
Maybe.
But
maybe not. Like,
if you look at the shows that they make compared to similar companies who
Yeah.
don't have that title and ethos, there are different things being produced.
Yeah.
So, and then it's like chicken or egg. Like, are they describing what they tend to make, or are they setting that intention and making that stuff?
then
Who knows?
manifesting
But
it, yeah.
there is a thing happening. I think a closer relationship to narrative, maybe.
Yeah.
I think a certain prevalence of characters as opposed to bodies or something.
that's cool.
The dancing's still great.
That's
and-
something you don't see always.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Okay.
I got questions about physical theatre, but I think they're onto something as a descriptor.
I wonder if they have a definition in the FAQ section of their website.
Maybe.
Could.
Maybe in their charter.
They
They do, but
They have a
it also is part of, I don't know. Yeah, they have a founding document, certainly. Bleeds into other aspects of
we
their
have a
practice
founding
too.
document?
For Stinishedit?
Yeah.
We do. Have you seen that notes app? Have you seen that notes note? It's a
note?
nightmare.
Do we have
it
all the
starts with the
notes on?
intro that we currently use. Then I think there's a list of things that I'm brainstorming as like what could be an I try everything error. Then there's like several passwords. Then there's about 8 introductions.
Nobody hack into our iCloud.
Please
Fucking
don't.
leave us alone. Yeah.
Then there's about 8 different like podcast descriptions that I wrote, like bios.
Yeah.
And then there's a whole other chunk of something else.
Yeah.
There's some photos in there. Then there's the first 2 or 3 episodes before we were using Notion. We just wrote all that stuff down at the bottom of that note. It's a nightmare.
I think that we should. I don't think that counts as a founding. That was a document that was created when we founded.
Yeah.
That isn't a founding document.
I disagree. It's
like-
called the Stinishedit Master Note.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like a founding document. I feel like we should have like put our ethos into something. Write
Sure.
it down.
It's got-
Have something to refer to every time we're like, what are we doing? Is this the same thing that
Sure.
what we were doing at the start? Is this what is our intention here? We have something to refer back to.
It's got drafts of the Acknowledgement of Country, Hetty Moysey's portfolio, a wonderful artist. Just stuff.
Okay, maybe we should print that out and put that on the wall.
Oh
that
my
could
God,
be
can
what
we put this on the
refer to.
wall?
Okay.
That's so good.
Every time we're like, what are we doing? We just look at that. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah, let's put all the passwords up on the wall.
all right.
There's a
No one
great-
come into our house at any point.
Here's a personal favorite. This is a really important password for something. Don't delete it! ! Then just a series of letters and numbers that is the password.
We don't know what it's for.
And then it says, P.S. It's the stinishedit Apple ID.
Oh, no.
Here's another one. Stinishedit Spotify. Username, string of numbers. Password, string of numbers. And then this note says, Reuben, go to Spotify for podcasters, you big idiot. Because I kept going somewhere else.
You know what? I
What?
think we're safe because no one can hack into our iCloud if we have the password on our iCloud.
Great point.
Yeah. What we've done is we've gotten a safe that has a key. We're putting the key inside the safe and then locked the safe.
Genius.
Yeah.
No one else can unlock the safe.
Yeah.
Neither can we. But don't worry about it.
No.
There's one here that says TikTok brackets, a thing that we have now. So that's fun.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So you were going to say something
Was I?
about physical theater or a manifesto or something.
Doubt it.
All right. Do you want to, anything else you want to talk about the tent about?
I don't think so. It was great.
Yeah. Tell me if people should finish it. if
People
they
should
could.
finish it. People should finish it. Oh, my favorite moment? They're talking about how like maybe part of the solution is collective action. And at this point, they've got a bunch of stuff. They've turned the tent into like a cozy hangout space. There's like mattresses and popcorn. Oh my God, they gave us popcorn. And pillows and books and pot plants and things. Yeah. And then this frenetic section starts and the performers all pick stuff up and run it to the audience and say like, here, hold this, look after this. Like, can you water this plant? This is my most treasured possession. Like, please take care of it. Yeah. One of the performers said to me and then handed me like a giant box of toilet paper. And I was like, okay. So I just sat with that on my lap for the rest of the performance. Great section. Like, I'll read this or don't forget to give this back to me at the end. Oh. Really fun section.
That's responsibility.
Right? Right?
If someone says, read this.
Yes.
Or don't forget to give this back to me. Fuck your show. Like, I
Yes.
can only
Yeah.
hold one task. I thought I was coming here to relax.
Yeah. No.
You've given me a task to do. Now I'm just going to be
You're like
thinking
Tinkerbell.
about that.
You can only have one emotion in your mind, one state.
Yeah,
Yeah. Which
absolutely.
the night that we saw it with an audience on opening night worked really well. The night where there was just like 3 of us in the audience.
Oh, one of them was a private screening.
Yeah, well, yeah, we popped in to see the dress rehearsal.
Oh, okay. So you
One,
gatecraft.
nightmarish, because every single performer handed us multiple things all at once. So it's like,
And that was your first experience? of it?
yeah.
Oh my God.
It was great.
You wouldn't be able to see. If one of the things is a box of toilet paper,
Yeah.
you gestured to be very large.
It was very large.
And then
I
you
didn't
just
have
get
room
things
for
stacked.
anything else. People just kind of piled it up around me. It was great fun.
Like little Christmas trees.
There was a great section where someone said, like, we're going to need to make it cozy, and they started bringing out all the stuff. And so they would drag out a mattress, bring in the books and pot plants, but every time someone put a cushion down, they would say, cushion, cushions, cushion.
That's really cute.
It's really funny.
That's really cute. I would have loved if so you had the dress rehearsal and then you went to the show with other,
Yeah, with
a set of audience members. But it would have been really great if on that one, they still sent everything to you.
That would be great.
Like, thank God there are other people here.
Bang, bang,
Bang, bang, bang, bang, bang. Brilliant. Sounds great.
Really good.
Really good.
Really great.
Maybe I'll have to make my way up to see Fling at some point.
You'll have to do it.
Make the 9-hour drive.
Oh, you can fly. You can
Bega?
fly to Marimbula, yes. The tiniest airport you've ever seen next to the ocean.
How far is it from Bega, like where Fling is?
Oh, like down the road.
Down the road?
Marimbula's probably 25 minutes.
Easy.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Yeah, I'll fly there.
Yeah.
Sounds good. When's the next thing? A year from now?
Yeah, probably about that, actually.
All right. Cool.
Depends if they perform in December or like May.
Chuck it in your calendars, people. Nice. What's our next section?
Our next section is called Up and Up.
Every time I'm bringing it up, I'm talking about up and up. Not the theme song.
I thought I had to sing the theme song for a second.
Yeah, I hesitated there. I was like, did I muck up? Am I meant to sing? No.
No. We have it recorded. So now there's a section where we follow up on things and we talk about things that are coming up. I'm gonna follow up on last week, which was challenges.
Woo!
Now I've been thinking about this still. It's still been in my bloody brain. I was talking to some people at work about it. Some people have seen it because it's apparently we saw it quite early.
Yeah, I guess so.
I still haven't seen it again.
Yeah, no.
But
We got to get on that.
We need to get on it. It's killing me how good it is. I keep thinking I'm having war flashback. It's mainly like, you know how like people with, you know, the way that people depict people with war flashbacks in like film and stuff is maybe they're like laying in bed and they're like wincing and their heads going side to side.
Are you thinking specifically of Broden Kelly in the Auntie Donna sketch about the kiln?
I am, but I think it's applicable to other things. But yeah, my head's going side to side as I'm trying to get to sleep and I'm wincing.
Just looks like you're following a tennis ball.
That's
right
the
now.
thing. It's not because I'm wincing. It's just because in my mind I'm watching the tennis game and my head's flicking.
It's actually
back and
very
forth.
accurate.
Yeah.
How it looks. I love the bit right at the end where everyone's watching the tennis balls go back and forth and Zendaya's just staring straight ahead.
Yeah. She's like, well, I think I'm screwed here either way, so I'm just gonna.
I think I fucked this.
Yeah. It's really good. But another thing that I will follow up on is the musical that I saw that we can add to this list.
Yes, right. I forgot about this seed that you planted many, many minutes ago.
That's what I like to do. I like to plant a little seed. I leave it for ages. I come back and it's dead.
Yeah.
Because I didn't water.
Tell me about your dead musical seed.
A dead musical seed. Oh, nice description. I went and saw Carrie the musical.
Oh.
That
okay.
some people put on that I had some friends in the ensemble for. Now, I don't know the story of Carrie. I'd never seen Carrie. Have you seen Carrie?
No.
The movie or the musical?
No.
No.
Also, every time you say Carrie, I think about Coraline.
Well, that's funny because turns out Carrie's real name might be similar. Hold on. It's the only note. I brought my notebook to this as I bring my notebook to anything that I go see. And the only note that I have is just Carrietta.
What?
Carrie's short for Carrietta.
That's stupid.
So that's so dumb.
That's so stupid.
Carrie is basically like this Catholic girl who has very like religious mum and doesn't let her do anything. And so Carrie's a bit of a quote unquote weird kid that everyone sort of makes fun of. But yeah, like if you call your kid Carrietta, they're gonna get made fun of.
Yeah.
You know? That line's only said once in the film, in the musical. Well, I don't know about the film. I haven't seen it. But basically, she's Matilda.
Okay. Gotcha.
She has secret telekinetic abilities, which are weirdly just sort of like shoehorned in. And like, why is this actually, the story
That's exactly
was engaging.
like the book Matilda.
Why do you bring this in?
Yeah.
Right? I didn't enjoy Matilda either. The movie.
Bad movie.
The bad movie.
Yeah.
And then she ends up through different events of people, you know, bullying her and then trying to help her and then her feeling like she's being tricked. She kills everyone at the end.
Great. Okay,
Spoilers,
cool.
she just murders everyone with her telekinetic abilities.
Cool.
It's fine.
And this is a follow-up to Challenges because...
No, it's just in my follow-up section.
Oh, okay, great.
I'm just following up.
Right. This is separate. This is musical follow-up.
It's up and up. We're doing following up and coming. I'm following up on things.
Sorry, I was still on Challenges in my
the
brain. I was just going
obligatory
like that in my brain.
Focused on the one thing.
Okay.
Do a Zendaya.
Okay, I'll do a Zendaya.
Straightforwards at me.
I will do a Zendaya.
Great.
That's it. I got no surnames now, everyone. I've done a Zendaya.
Is Zendaya now okay in that shot where she's like, okay, I'm not looking at these two people that I know that are playing anymore. I'm just staring straight ahead because I've got things to think about.
Yeah.
At tennis matches, there are people on the other side. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is she just like staring down this other
I
person?
think she's eye canoodling with the ref.
She's like,
But
hey.
also, doesn't she have glasses on in that
these
scene?
two-
Doesn't she have sunnies on?
No, I don't think so.
No. Oh, okay. That's earlier, maybe.
I think
Or on
she's
the
like,
poster.
well, if these two people, none of them are ambitious enough, or I have enough friendly, I don't know.
Neither of them are as good at tennis as I was.
Yeah, maybe I'll go for this ref. Maybe this ref is my next person to sort of. Maybe this could be the best ref.
Licking her lips real slowly.
Yeah. Gary, if she was licking her lips, she'd be licking blood.
Yep.
Because blood gets poured over her. Pig's blood. I don't know. Okay. It was weirdly funny, and by weirdly funny, I mean there were jokes in it that were weird.
Right.
That
So-
didn't make sense.
Okay.
I feel like it would work if it was way more serious. I was watching it, and I was like, what if we had a horror musical? But I think I went there with a bunch of Heathers people.
Demon Barber of Fleet Street.
No,
Sweeney Todd.
no, not Sweeney Todd.
No?
No.
Is that not a horror musical?
No, it's the same. Well,
Barber
okay.
cuts throats, neighbor puts him into pies. Is that not a horror musical?
I guess it's a horror musical. But what I'm trying to say is like, I think musicals are inherently goofy. someone singing something out of nowhere
Yes.
is goofy.
Yes.
I think one thing that helps things not be goofy is when you have a sung-through musical like Hamilton,
Good to say.
where there isn't that transition of,
Good at a bar.
yeah, you know, I'm really having a bad time at school today, but maybe if I, you know, like,
Yeah.
so because they're inherently goofy,
Mm-hmm.
you can't really have like a true horror-y musical, and you're gonna have to have jokes or something. I think is what the thought process was behind making Harry.
Okay.
I don't know. Anyways, my friends are pretty good in it.
Great.
They're also like always good and stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't really enjoy the musical.
Hmm.
That's all I'm gonna say. It's going. Oh, do I have the list on me of our? Oh, the reason why it's a High School Musical.
Yeah.
It wasn't a High School Musical.
That's
It
what you
wasn't
said
out of
at the
high school.
start.
It was a community theatre musical. But
Mm-hmm.
however, it was a young person's like this theatre company
Mm-hmm.
goes 21 and under or 22 and under or I think 21 and
But
under.
they're
for all
students
their-
who are at high school performing in it.
Now they have a normal cast and they have a junior cast. Now here's the thing. I saw the normal cast because all of my
Okay.
friends are fucking like 22.
Yeah.
But the junior cast, one of the antagonist role, I can't remember what her name was, but she wasn't there for whatever reason. Maybe she was sick. So the person from the junior cast in that role stepped up and played that character.
Well, then it counts.
Then it counts.
But you were on thin ice for a second.
I know. I think I'm still on thin ice, but I think it counts.
Yeah.
So it is part of our High School Musicals list.
Wonderful. Now you got to rank it.
Now I got to rank it. I got to find my list though. I found it. Okay. So. What were you saying about how we have never
No cuts.
No cuts. So, what I've got here is currently at number 1 we have Legally Blonde, number 2 Addams Family, number 3 All Shook Up, number 4 Shrek, number 5 Wizard of Oz, number 6 The Little Mermaid, number 7 High School Musical the musical, number 8 The Wedding Singer, and number 9 Into the Woods. I think not as good as Legally Blonde, not as good as the Addams Family.
Go from the bottom.
Okay, yeah. Better
Than Into the Woods. That's a freebie.
Better than High School Musical. I think it's better than High School Musical. I don't think it's better than The Little Mermaid.
Okay.
Now I will say, both the person playing Carrie and the like point of view character, she was really good. But the person who played Carrie's mother, outstanding voice and just eyes glued. Like it was incredible. It was very like operatic, amazing. I think the reason why it doesn't it's similar stuff in The Little Mermaid where the person playing Ursula was like very, very captivating. But I think that maybe it is better than The Little Mermaid.
You had a lot of problems with The Little Mermaid, not as a performance, but as a script.
I had a lot of problems with this one as well. You know what? It goes above The Little Mermaid. All right, it's between The Wedding Singer. I think it was. What's above The Wedding Singer? Oh wait, no. The Wedding Singer was between High School Musical and no, it's way higher than I thought. Oh, is it better than Wizard of Oz? I'm putting it between Little Mermaid and Wizard of Oz at number 6. Little Mermaid becomes 7. High School Musical, the musical becomes 8. Wedding Singer becomes 9. Into the Woods becomes 10. That's the official ranking. Do you disagree?
No.
Sick.
I'll buy that.
Brilliant. Oh, we actually had extra ones of the ones that you saw.
What are you talking about?
I have an updated list somewhere because you saw a few High School
No, they're all in
Musicals.
there, I think.
No, because you saw the Alice in Wonderland one.
Oh, true.
All right. Well, this is an old list, but I'll compile a proper. I'll find
do that.
my better list at some point. What have you got coming up?
Coming up, the thing that I will be sharing as my start of it next week is using Instagram.
Oh. Okay. All right. I'm really. I've also started using Instagram once again. Like I have a personal Instagram, so I think we'll have a lot to talk about on that
Yep.
front.
I'm excited.
Anything to tease?
No.
Okay.
That's it.
That's
That's it.
All right. Brilliant. Well, I think that's it. I reckon we should wrap up the show.
Great.
Thank you everyone to listening to fuck yeah.
Thank you to everyone. 3 listening. Fuck.
Thanks for everyone 5 listening. Another episode 38 podcast stinishedit. If you like, then tell friends Friends tell friends about stinishedit. Also, 5 stars app, any podcast, our podcast, any app.
Not any podcast.
Review best pod, our pod, on any app.
Not other pod.
Thanks. Artwork by Hetty. Big thanks.
Moysey Hetty, thanks big.
Moysey Hetty. If get in touch, mail, write, stinishedit@gmail.com, otherwise burn if not on mail, if you give in person, or email at that address, or TikTok, Instagram DM, or harass on street. That it?
That's it.
Brilliant.
Thank much.
Thank much.
Very bye.
As always, let's nut it out.